DPTV Uganda, Down People Television. DPTV Uganda, Down People Television. DPTV Uganda, Down People Television. Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Kyagulanyi Ekibiina ekisinga amaanyi mu Uganda abefuna bagezigezi mu NUP tubawummuza okuya buli omu tesosola mawanga ayagala ekitundu kya Kyagulanyi Sakabi Esano
to party.
Number one in my life.
of copyright sound because of copyright ekosa sobolanga sound koto bwa mumanja copyright kugoba the second because of NUP full of leadership bagenda kubanga abagabira abaana tekiranga degree oba okukakasa nti wasomye n'okufuuka mu by'obukulembeze sound tujijjako tukigenderete enyimba za president ababaddeko ziyina copyright so copyright mubimanyi kyengamba copyright oluyimba gwa president gwomanyi luyina copyright so bakuba copyright nofunikira nga eba tevuddeko nti tetukitegere abagijjako because omutwewala copyright.
United Kingdom, Uganda, we want to be free. Soon and very soon, we want to be free. Soon and very soon, Uganda, we want to be free. Western powers here abroad, we want to be free. Stop funding the massacre in Africa. Oh, soon and very soon, we want to be free. Soon and very soon, Uganda, we want to be free. ISIS and ISJ, we just on human rights. Justice delayed is justice denied. Soon and very soon, we want to be free. Soon and very soon, Uganda, we want to be free. Soon and very soon, we want to be free. Soon and very soon, Uganda, we want to be free. Soon and very soon, we want to be free. Soon and very soon. to Uganda, we want to be free. Thank you so much. Thank you. Agoga chali mabaga sabye bakama bangi bategeke tulina album number ya struggle. And seriously, my name is Reggae Soldier Opakaira. My president Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu. Ladies, how are you? My artists mbagala nyo mwena mwena abasomye abatali ba artists. We are all in the struggle. Thank you so much. My name is subscribing ku channel ya Reggae Soldier Music. Kuliko enyimba za struggle nyingi. Kuliko lwa Kyagulanyi Daudi waffe. Kuliko Mastercard. Nyimba zonna za struggle. Thank you so much. You want to be free. Uganda, we want to be free. Western powers here, we want to be free. Stop everybody, soon and very soon, we want to be free. Soon and very soon, Uganda, we want to be free. ISIS and ISIS. Just on human rights, justice delayed, if justice denied. Soon and very soon, we want to be free. Soon and very soon, we want to be free. Soon and very soon, we want to be free. Soon and very soon.
Let's have the anthem. Let's have the anthem, please. Let's have Bishop to come and take us in prayer. He's one of the students.
Father, in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, we want to thank you for this day. Thank you for our school. Thank you for our party. Thank you for our president. And thank you for our nation. Father, we commit this day into your hands. We pray that be with us. Let your spirit come be with us. Father, we pray for the joy of the Lord. Let it be our strength. We call upon you, be with us. In Jesus' name we pray.
Thank you. People power. Our power. Our power. People power. NUP. Everywhere. Everywhere. NUP. Please have your seats. You're most welcome this afternoon. We don't intend to stay here for long, but first allow me, all of you, to give a big applause to our chief guest today, Dr. Spire. Dr. zososo okuwulira z'ez'oluzungu ezisemye ez'omuyiga z'ez'oluganda kati mu ez'omuluganda azifune bulungi. You're most welcome. We truly follow up your works, and we are very humbled in this generation to have you as an inspiration from the professional side. Mr. President, the party leadership, the Secretary General, the Leader of Opposition, our distinguished Deputy Presidents, our Treasurer, the Chairman of the Fundraising Committee, the Head of Entertainment, and most importantly, the Head of the School of Leadership and Training of the National Unity Platform, Kaija, stand up for recognition. That young, energetic lady has done phenomenal work. Please give her another applause for her great work. You're all most welcome. You're all most welcome, Mr. President. Before you and our chief guests are students who have graduated from the School of Leadership and their parents and guardians. But also we have the ardent members of the National Unity Platform in attendance. I'm told we have scores of people from different areas. Those from Chotera, stand up for recognition. I'm told we have people from Chotera. Those from Kalungu, stand up for recognition. Those from everywhere, stand up for recognition. You're all most welcome. Without further ado, I also want to welcome the media. You're most welcome to this function, and we are not going to spend a lot of time here. Without wasting any time, Mr. President, allow me to invite the chairman of our fundraising committee to come and say something before I engage to the real function that we have, as the treasurer also prepares with this communication. Sebo Engineer Balimwezo.
Your Excellency, the President of the National Unity Platform and the People's President, His Excellency Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, the Deputy President, the Leader of Opposition in Parliament of Uganda, Right Honorable Joel Senyonyi, our keynote speaker, Dr. Spire, Honorable Members of Parliament and elected leaders, the Secretary General and members of the NEC, members, supporters and well-wishers of the National Unity Platform, graduates, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, warm greetings to you all in the spirit of gratitude. I raise before you today with a heart overflowing with appreciation, humility, and renewed commitment following the successful launch of our first national fundraising drive for the 2026 general election campaign, which took place on the 7th day of July 2025. First and foremost, I thank our President, His Excellency Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, for his good leadership and vision. I salute the National Executive Committee, our members of Parliament, local leaders, our members of the diaspora, and tens of thousands of ordinary Ugandans who stood up to support this cause. Thank you so much. We appreciate your generosity. Allow me on behalf of the entire fundraising team to extend our deepest gratitude to each and every one of you who contributed, participated and pledged. What we witnessed was not just financial giving, it was a bold declaration that Ugandans are ready to own the struggle for change. Thank you. Funds raised. I am pleased to report that during our first day of the drive, we raised cash collections amounting to 135,796,000 in cash that day. And we had checks amounting to 21 million. This comes to a grand total of 156,796,000 Uganda shillings. That was the first day, but also we are able to raise pledges amounting to 869,530,000. Overall amount was 1,026,327,000. On that too, we are able to collect 21,196,000, and on mobile money we collected 19,700,000, making a total of 40,896,000 on the second day. This is an incredible show of confidence in our campaigns, and we do not take it for granted. This is a movement powered by the people. This campaign is not about one person or one group. It is about millions of Ugandans, from the market vendors to border riders, from nurses to teachers, from the youth to the elderly, from the business people to the professionals, from street vendors to arcade owners, taxi drivers to fishermen, all coming together to say enough is enough. We are ready to build a new Uganda. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now working closely with all leaders to follow up on the pledges to ensure transparency and accountability, and prepare to proceed with our fundraising efforts. In conclusion, this is the only beginning. The road ahead is long and requires even greater unity and sacrifice. But if the spirit we saw on July 7th is nothing to go by, victory is within reach. Let us keep the fire burning. Let us remind Ugandans everywhere that this is our moment. Let us give, let us mobilize, and above all, let us believe. Thank you so much. Njagala okutwala omukisa guno okusookera ddala okwebaza Katonda eyatusobozesezza okukola drive yaffe, fundraising drive yaffe yasoose ng'ennaku z'omwezi 7 July omwaka guno gwennyini. Era nga twagala okwebaza President olw'obukulembeze bwe obulungi. Tusamunye ekitiibwa abakulembeze ba paate era n'abo aba Parliament ne bannayuganda bonna okutwaliza wamu. twagala okwebaza mwenna bannayuganda abasobodde okuwaayo ensimbi okuddukirira omulanga ogw'enkyukakyuka. Mwebale nnyo, mwebalire ddala. Njagala okwebaza ennyo ttiimu eyalondebwa era yakulembeddemu oluwalo luno kulaba nti tugenda mu maaso n'omulimu gw'okukuŋŋaanya ensimbi. Mwebale nnyo, mwebalire ddala bannayuganda. Njagala kubategeeza nti ku lunaku olwo twasobola okukuŋŋaanya kashi miliyoni 135 n'emitwalo 796 mu kashi, era ne tufuna checks ezaavaamu miliyoni 21. Omugatte kwolwo olunaku twafuna miliyoni 156 n'emitwalo 796. Naye twafuna abatusuubiza baali bangi nnyo, era ng'abo abatusuubiza sente zibalirwamu miliyoni 869 n'emitwalo 53. Owamu abawaayo n'abasuubiza tusuubira okufuna biliyoni 1 ne miliyoni 26 n'emitwalo 327. Ku lunaku olwokubiri twasobola okuŋŋaanya mu kashi miliyoni 21 n'emitwalo 19,600. Ezo zajja mu kashi, ate ne tufuna ssente ku mobile money miliyoni 19 n'emitwalo 7. Owamu omugatte ku lunaku olwokubiri twafuna miliyoni 4 n'emitwalo 89,600. Mwebale nnyo, mwebalire ddala bannayuganda okuwaayo n'ekigendero ekyokukyusa obukulembeze. Njagala okubategeeza nti kuno okuwaayo twakutandika naye tulina okusoomooza, era tusaba nti abo bonna abeeyama tugezeeko nnyo okulaba nti tutuukiriza tusasule ssente zino. Twaweebwa omwezi gumu okulaba nti tukuŋŋaanyiza ssente ezigenda okututandisa omulimu omulungi. Awo nno mbasaba mwenna nti mwenfirize, kubanga struggle erina okugenda maaso, era mutuukirize ebyo byonna bye mweyama tusobole okulaba nti tutwala struggle eno mu maaso. Njagala okwagaliza bagraduates baffe omukisa omulungi era n'okugenda mu maaso mu maanyi. Mwebale nnyo, mwebalire ddala.
Anaye mukubire engalo ez'amaanyi. Sinaba kutunulayo eri mu mpapula sikkirizibwa, naye ayagala bwa Lord Mayor. Simanyi oba eri yamuvuganya, naye eri mu mpapula sikkirizibwa kulabayo. Nibangema nga ndiyo ndi ebambooko. Mwebale nnyo, mwebalire ddala. Kati the next speaker is the vice chairperson of the National Consultative Forum and also our party treasurer. Please come and give your communication. Musajja no gwenyanjudde munene nnyo. Yamyuka abakulembeze ku kakiiko kali akeebuuzibwako batabe batambuza eggwanga ebibiina binaggwano nga kya National Unity Platform.
Thank you very much, Waiswa. People power. Our power. People power. NUP. Everywhere. NUP. Mr. President, our distinguished leaders, our keynote speaker, fellow comrades, ladies and gentlemen of the press, and all of us here. I have been invited speak about 2 or 3 things, but I'll begin by supplementing the communication of our chairperson of the fundraising committee, the Honorable Ronald Barimwezo, who is doing a commendable job together with his team, and they deserve a hand clap. I want to thank each and everyone who has contributed to this effort. When we launched this fundraising campaign, we informed the nation that we are doing this in preparation for the campaigns which I would say have already started, much as the official campaigns are yet to start, because campaigns begin with preparation. And to add on what he has communicated, our target from this exercise is 9 billion Uganda shillings. And if you look at the statistics of the previous campaigns, for example, the report from ACFIM, it indicated that the NRM candidate Museveni, spent approximately 900 billion. Now, when you look at our target of 9 billion, it is 1% of what the other person spent. But our model of politics is different, because ours does not involve bribery, does not involve buying votes and things of that nature, and there is no corruption in our party as compared to theirs. So for us, even with the minimal, if we get 9 billion, we'll be able to run a campaign like never before. So we appeal to the people of Uganda, here and abroad, to support this effort. We are able to finance our campaign and be part of that change that we are talking about. When we are launching, I mentioned that we don't want tomorrow anybody to say, Twarwana. It should be all the people of Uganda saying, Twakolachi, Twarwana. So, ladies and gentlemen, Waiso has introduced me, and rightly so, as the Vice Chairperson of the National Consultative Forum. The National Consultative Forum is the platform that brings together all the political parties in Uganda. And you have heard people talk about dialogue, you have heard people talk about tolerance and discussions about the politics and future of this country. This is the institution where such discussions take place. And I'm Vice Chairperson in exercise of the mandate by the National Unity Platform. This is evidence that all that gossip, all that idle talk from our detractors, that the National Unity Platform does not want to engage in meaningful dialogue with other actors in the country, is empty and false and should be shunned. Number two, there has also been a discussion about membership of IPOD or non-membership of IPOD. Ladies and gentlemen, before, I think last few weeks, IPOD was an NGO. But some mischievous people, because they thought they would compel National Unity Platform to do certain things, went on a mischievous mission of making IPOD an institution of the state of Uganda, and they amended the Political Parties and Organizations Act. But in doing so, they were not very smart. They thought they would compel us to belong to some organization. They didn't know that we are not just in the National Consultative Forum, but we are already the leadership of the National Consultative Forum. So IPOD now is a department in National Consultative Forum. Like if you have a school and a new department is introduced, it doesn't mean that the school has been taken away. So the National Consultative Forum now is being rebranded to say that the parties that are represented in Parliament will be meeting here and a department called IPOD, and the parties that are not represented in Parliament are meeting in a different department. So I thought that as the Vice Chairperson of the National Consultative Forum, I should explain this. Number two is the question of public funding of political parties. I think you have had a lot of idle talk from especially the NRM propaganda machinery. that NUP does not want to participate in iPod activities but picks iPod money. Ladies and gentlemen, the funding that NUP receives from the state coffers as a creation of the law has got nothing to do with that NGO that people have been meeting in. Number two is that public funding of political parties was not born in Uganda. It has been in existence for very many years ago. In fact, in some countries like America, the conversation started in 1907. Today, public funding of political parties is practiced globally in over 100 countries. But in those none of those countries is funding of political parties tagged to going for meetings and taking pictures with the head of state. Because if there is meaningful discussion and dialogue, you do not need to compel people to come and meet with you. But because they feel that on account of their conduct, meeting with them, interacting with them has become so shameful that they must force people to go and talk with them. So this new creation of comparing people has got nothing to do with the public, but it's just a mischievous scheme to compare us, to go and engage in conversations with them. But like the young people say, Basanze Tukorachi, Turaba. Now iPod is a department of the National Consultative Forum. And I have mentioned that NUP, which I represent in that forum, is currently the vice chairperson of that forum. So we have a duty to continuously, as NUP, teach those mischievous people that you don't build a country by using underhand methods. But we know that their objective and mission is never to build the country, but to extend their patronage system. But we have a duty then to give this information to the people of Uganda so that they can be able to challenge those lies that are being peddled by the propaganda machinery of the regime. Why swayansabye nti bino nabyo byogere mu Luganda. Kati simanyi ani ayagala kumpa max ez'okwogera Oluganda naye wise wajja kunsasula bwe mbyogera bulungi. Mr. President, n'abakulembeze baffe, and all of you comrades, your mark egenze. Bwe twalonchinga programu eno twategeeza bannayuganda nti fundraising eno tunoonya ssente za kutambuza campaign, era ne tubeera ne target nti campaign eno bwe tufuna biliyoni 9 zijja tuyamba okutuuka buli wamu, zijja tuyamba okufuna posters ezimala, zijja tuyamba okulaba nti abantu baffe abamu abalina obusobozi obw'okukulembera naye nga tebalina ssente ngeza nominations tubasupporting. Tukimanyi nti abakenkufu abakola research aba Alliance for Finance Monitoring nga twakava mu kulonda kwa 2021 bafulumya report eraga nti candidate Museveni mu kulonda yakozesa biliyoni 9. Kati ffe zino zetuli mu kusolooza twagala 1% yezo Museveni ze yakozesa mu 2021 kubanga faba NUP enkola yaffe ya politics yanjawulo ku ya Museveni ne NRM. Kubanga bo biliyoni 9 bagala za kugulira abalonzi, bagala za kufinancing obumenyi bw'amateeka, naye ffe zaffe twagala fuel, twagala posters, twagala nomination fees. So kyovora baffe target yaffe abamu bayinza okugiraba ng'entono, naye tumanyi abannayuganda be tunoonyamu ssente ku ssaawa zino abangi bali mu mbeera mbi wa bukulembeze bubi bwa gavumenti ya Museveni. Si bwe kiri? So target yaffe ebyo byonna tusoose ne tubitunulamu. ensonga so twebaza bannayuganda abaakavaayo ne bawagira omulamwa guno, ate tubasaba bongeremu amaanyi ku luno ensonga eno tugiguse weyina okugwera. Ensonga y'okubiri, waifa bwabadde ampita wano yabategeezezza nti nze amyuka akulira National Consultative Forum. National Consultative Forum ye organ omukago ogw'ebibiina byonna ebyobufuzi mu Uganda. Ensonga ze bazze boogerako nti ebibiina birina okwogera, ebibiina birina okukkiriziganya ku nsonga ezimu n'ezimu, ebyo birina okukola ki? Ebyo bye tulina obyogerera. Era tuzze tugamba nti bwe wabaawo ebirina okwogerebwako byonna, platform entuufu ye National Consultative Forum. Kati bano abazze nga baagala junafuya nabo batuuse ku level ne bakkiriza nti aba NUP kye babadde boogera kyekituufu, ne baleeta eyo gye bayita iPod ebadde kibiina kya Bwana kyewa ne bagikola department mu National Consultative Forum. Era ne baddamu ne bakola n'ensobe endala mu process eyo nti ekibiina kyonna okufuna support okuva ku ssente z'omuyi w'omusolo kirina okusooka ne kigenda ne kituula ne Museveni. Okusupportinga political parties nga bakozesa ssente z'omuyi w'omusolo tekitandikidde mu Uganda, kiri mu nsi yonna. Wekyogerera kiri mu mawanga agasoba mu 10. Mawanga agamu nga America ebyo batandika byogerako mu mwaka 1970. Naye mu mawanga ago gonna genjogeddeko 10 nga kuliko n'amangi agali mu Africa. Teri awali akakwakulizo nti ekibiina okufuna support okuva mu state coffers kirina okusooka ne kigenda meeting ne kyekubya ebifaananyi yali mu ntebe. Naye abaakuno kubanga bamanyi nabo ndowooza nti kiswaza okutuula nabo n'okwekubya nabo ebifaananyi nga kisinziira ku neeyisa embi gye bazze beeyisaamu, balabye nti bwe batateekako obukwakulizo obwo abantu tebajja kukkiriza.
Different aspects. Without wasting any more time, allow me invite Doreen Kaija, the rector of our NUP School of Leadership. The student mwongere engalo ez'amaanyi. And she will take us through this segment.
Thank you. Thank you. Ebintu bibeera by'abakulu pozi namwagala kwongobera mulimu. Your Excellency, our keynote speaker, Dr. Jimmy Spire Ssentongo, Deputy President of our party, the leader of our parliamentary front, and Secretary General, all leaders of our mighty party, the facilitators of the National Unity Platform School of Leadership. That hand clap for them. Yeah, our dear graduates of today, our parents who are together with us, comrades, colleagues, and compatriots. It's great to be here today. The first people who were before me, those abadde mukasike katuyingidde embaga. This is a great day, Your Excellency, to see that as the School of the National Unity Platform, we yet again gather at our party headquarters to celebrate this fruitful moment of these people that we have. I will go back right from how we started this year, not the first cohort. In January, we opened up a call for students who wanted to join the National Unity Platform School of Leadership. And in that regard, there was an online application and physical applications that were open for everyone. I'm happy to report to you, Your Excellency, and our keynote speaker, that we had over 200 people who applied. It is fortunate or unfortunate, we only had 170 who were successful to join us that time. And note that whoever didn't qualify was not really in position to be with us, but because of sometimes the space and what we can accommodate for an intake. And today, it is great that we have a total number of 149 graduates who are here to be certified. And that is only for the people who have been attending classes physically. We tried to have the school move beyond the walls of Kamocha, looking at the people who live in the diaspora. And I'm happy to report to you that we have over 30 people who will be graduating with us today. And I think we have our comrade Matovo who will be representing the diaspora team. Thank you. I want to give in my appreciations, more so, mainly to our dear facilitators. Please, for a few who are here, you can stand up for recognition, and we appreciate you highly. Kindly. Yes. Thank you. Please, thank you very much. I know as a school, yes, Madam Sarah. I know as a school we are highly indebted by your efforts. Every day, when this team here is called upon, I think the Secretary General should also be getting to stand up because he's part of the team. Yeah. Yes. So really, I want to appreciate you on behalf of the National Unity Platform School of Leadership. We are indebted of your hard work, of your commitment, of your passion, and the sacrifice that you make every day to see that that place is running. We appreciate you, please. Thank you. You can kindly have your seats. Thank you very much. I want to appreciate the President's office, the Secretary General, the Secretary General's office for their continued support towards the school. And I want to say, of course, within this cohort when we were running, we had a time when the school was invaded. And of course it was vandalized by the people who hold state power today, using soldiers who bear our national flag on their shoulders, dressed in our attires of the country. They invaded the school and also took away with everything, the properties, and also the place was damaged. But we are grateful that the party leadership didn't relent. They continue to offer in support to see that there is continuity of that school. So I want to appreciate you, please. Thank you very much. Allow me to appreciate this team, the students. I know it's not been easy, as many may think. It's been a toil. Sometimes you've had it on a hard way, when you come in late, when you do things which are out of the conduct of the school. It's been very, very hard. It's been tough. But I want to appreciate you for your teamwork, I want to appreciate you to see that you've upheld the spirit of growing and trying to be the leaders that this country deserves to have. I want to appreciate you for that. Mr. President, and our keynote speaker, among those people there, we have had people who have been coming from very far. And I want to mention there is a gentleman who used to come from Kasese for the 3 days and then he would still go back. And that is Muhindo. Yeah, thank you, brother. Thank you very much. I want to appreciate your full efforts that you've put in, not for just yourselves, but to see that this country can at one point have the best of leaders that we deserve to have. I know that I've not worked all alone. I have people that have been at the school, right from the gate down to the sanitation. I know the place has always been clean. We should appreciate that team for their work. They have been there for us. I will not talk so much, but I want to give a word to you, our awardees of the day. I know that today you're getting out of the walls of the school. I believe that the purpose of that school was to see that you can be the representative, the ambassadors of this mighty party, to see that the revolution to which we abide ourselves to, or we align ourselves to, can be a realization. I beg of you, please be the best ambassadors of the school and of the party. Go speak, preach, and hold people who are out there to have information. The strongest weapon the guy who holds power has at his display is ignorance of our people. Please, go and fight. Go and spread the gospel truth of change. Thank you very much. You will allow me at this very juncture to call upon the three people who are meant to speak on our behalf to kindly step forward. Thank you. Basitude ebitabo bingi simanyi oba obudde bwonna banabufuna. Okay, so of course as a school we've tried to leave along just the training. We've always been requested that let it not be just an environment where people come, get trained and move out. We've involved people into critical thinking, and they have come up with a specific or a special document that will be offered to the leadership of the party as an alternative document or policy. Thank you very much. I will go. Who goes first?
Your Excellency, the President, Guest of Honor, Leader of Opposition, Secretary General, members of Delegate Conference, members of National Unity Platform, members of National Executive Committee, all leaders at various levels here, my fellow graduates, ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon. It gives me a great pleasure to speak to you all this afternoon. Your Excellency, the President, my name is Nadamba Shile, representing Class A. I want to take this opportunity to thank you all. I want to take this opportunity to thank the management and NUP School of Leadership for choosing me out of the many to speak to you this afternoon on this occasion. Thank you so much. Your Excellency, the President, graduates, I want to thank you all for reaching this milestone today, this Friday, July 11th, 2025. History indeed has been written today. Fellow Breaking Wise for coming up with the idea of initiating the opening up of NUP School of Leadership in Uganda's politics. In the same vein, I wish to thank our coordinator of School of Leadership, Madam Kajadori, for his wise counsel, idea, and guidance towards us. His expectation leadership has made us who we are today. Ladies and gentlemen, the fruits of academic year 2024-2025 in the name of graduates you are seeing today are as a result of effort of various tutors and facilitators who have played a critical role in educating us. I wish to bring to your attention that in our learning experience here, we have studied 6 course modules, namely NUP philosophy, political and constitution history, governance and civil rights, communication skills, pathway to political change, and leadership in action. That cocktail of training has acted as a trigger and an eye-opener to us. It has further enlightened us of our law to overthrow the military junta who has oppressed this country for so many years. As the saying goes by, one philosopher, Aristotle, education of the mind without education of the heart is not education. Our hearts and minds have been charged to fight for political change in reference to Article 2 and 3 of the Constitution of Republic of Uganda that empowers the citizens to fight and defend their constitution. Our learning experience here has been a holistic one, where we have not remained the same as we were. Before acquiring this training, we were so low. But this institution of NUP School of Leadership has created an environment that has expanded connection and has further created a learning environment of human behavior. Since most of us here come from different walks of life with different behaviors, our stay here has been fruitful with results of patience, tolerance, persistence, resilience, and discipline. We have been equipped with knowledge of leadership, skills, and some of us here are going to contest as candidates in our respective electoral areas. It is further to note that an army led by one lion surrounded by 100 sheep can defeat one led by one sheep surrounded by 100 lions. Mr. President, we're not convocation. That knowledge appoints our learning experience that has equipped us with values of the party and philosophy. Your Excellency, the President, and fellow graduates, leaders are made but not born. We have been prepared and baked into steady leaders. It is right to note that in history of leadership, the world has never witnessed an impactful and strong leadership like that of King David. We are blessed to be in this generation led by you, Your Excellency. In my conclusion, as per Alan Bloom, a Education is the movement from darkness to light. Your Excellency, indeed we have seen the light. Fellow graduates, ladies and gentlemen, with these remarks, we need to rise up and fight for good governance. Thank you for listening to me. Okay, good soldier!
People power, our power, people power. Your Excellency, our chief guest, Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, keynote speaker, Professor Jimmy Spire Ssentongo, respected leaders, fellow graduates, and distinguished guests, you are most welcome. I'm representing Class C, those are elected leaders. Today marks a proud and memorable limestone in our journey as young leaders. We joined National Unity Platform of Leadership with desire to learn, to grow, and to better understand our role in shaping a just, free, and democratic Uganda. The National Unity Platform School of Leadership has not only equipped us with knowledge, but it has also strengthened our courage, sharpened our vision, and reminded us that leadership is not about power, but it's about service. Let us go out as ambassadors of truth, justice, and people-centered leadership. Let our communities see in us the love of our country. Dear Mr. President, we are ready to continue the fight of New Uganda. I'm Makula Vicky, Woman Councillor, representing the great people of Najana Nkumbi 1, LOC3, Lubaga Division. Thank you.
Okay, she just landed, never mind. She just landed.
People power! Our power! Viva NUP, viva! Viva NUP, viva! Viva Kyagulanyi, viva! Viva President, viva! Hello. Our dear esteemed guests of honor, distinguished guests present, good afternoon. Your Excellency and Chancellor Sir Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, we can't afford enough to repay your benevolent generosity for welcoming Mother Uganda with open hands. We can't take this given free opportunity for granted. We are ready to preach and move the revolution to the next level. All we can say, asante sana, yongeza tena. To the General Secretary and the entire NUP executive leadership, thank you for creating space that has enabled grounded leaders. To the most loving, caring, educative, tough, passionate, real Madam Principal Kaija Doreen Atenga and the entire administration present of the Might School of Leadership,
Thank you for the mentorship, standing the test of shaping and carving the country's dead wood into fine instruments of change. Asante sana. By name's Rotarian Engineer Lutuama Peter, from the professionals class of 2025. To the graduating class of 2025, a new dawn for our nation. Fellow graduates, comrades and defenders of truth, today is not just a celebration of academic achievement. It is a declaration of intent. It is a statement that we are not only scholars, we are sentinels of a better tomorrow. And as members of the National Platform, we do not graduate merely into careers. We graduate into a revolution of purpose. We have studied modules for communication, purpose, political change, governance and civil rights, plus leadership, only dimly by injustice. We have written assessments under the shadows of fear. We've walked always patrolled by systems designed to suppress voices like ours. And yet we are here, standing, graduating and rising. Let this moment remind us of one thing. We are not powerless. We are prepared. A revolution is not born with bullets. It's born with belief. It begins when a student refuses to be silent, when a mother refuses to give up hope, when a youth once told you are nothing, stands up and says, I'm the future. That is the revolution we speak of, not of chaos, but of clarity, not of violence, but of vision. Uganda does not need another dictator. Uganda does not need another dictator. A revolution is not born with bullets. It's born with belief. It begins when a student refuses to be silent, when a mother refuses to give up hope, when a youth once told you are nothing stands up and says, I'm the future. That is the revolution we speak of, not of chaos, but of clarity, not of violence, but of vision. Uganda does not need another dictator. It needs disciples of democracy. Uganda does not need fear. It needs fierce hope. And hope is sitting right here in this crowd, wearing these gowns, raising those fists, and dreaming impossible dreams. But dreams without discipline are dangerous. So let us be strategic. Let us be organized. Let us build. Let us vote. Let us speak and let us lead. Let us return to our communities, not with certificates, but with demands. For education that empowers, not indoctrinates. For jobs that dignify, not exploit. For leaders who serve, not steal. Let our revolution be led by love for our country, for each other, and for the generations yet to come. Fellow comrades, this is not the end of our journey. It's ignition time. Let the revolution is not an apple that falls because it is ripe. You have to make it fall. We are the children of resistance and the parents of change. We are the generation that will no longer ask for permission to be free. So rise, NUP family, march boldly, speak loudly, organize wisely. And never ever let anyone convince you again that your voices do not matter. Because the future is not waiting, it is watching. And we are ready to move the revolution. People power, our power, people power. Viva NUP, viva! viva! Viva Kyagulanyi, viva! Wewe!
Hello. Thank you so very much. Before you go, Mr. President, as they discussed inter alia, they have an alternative policy that they would want to hand over to the party. I don't know the Secretary General, how does that go? Okay. You will, Mr. President, you will come and receive the policy from our people.
Good afternoon, everyone. Your Excellency, I'm humbled to stand before you as a graduate of the NUP School of Leadership. I take this opportunity to hand to you this document of policy alternatives drafted by a couple of members of my class. These are views and ideas that we have suggested to transform Uganda. I take this opportunity to hand this document to you, sir, and we pledge to the nation that we shall work on this to deliver Uganda into the future it deserves. Thank you very much.
They will have a picture, the three of them, as they spoke. Join here. The ladies first, then you close. Right there. Let's have that. People power. Our power. NUP. Every Kaija, you left yourself out. Please. Let's have Kaija also on the team. People power. Our power. NUP. Thank you so very much. You're most welcome. Abana basomye tebasomye mubawulidde tebatawanye natuvunulira naye olunyanyimbe bakoze eki balwogedde. Thank you so very much. Kaja, you concluding or you've concluded?
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, the representatives, and thank you for the English. As we come to the conclusion of this has been a cocktail of different students. We've had engineers, we've had musicians, we have Sebunya, yes, Waima, Sebunya, yes. We have journalists like Jonah. Yeah, I want to say thank you guys. And congratulations. I want to wish you the very best. Thank you very much.
So, without wasting any time, let me invite my boss, the leader of parliamentary business, and party spokesperson to please come and give us a communication. You're most welcome.
Waiswa, the graduation yange yawedde yali ya last week, kati ompise kwogera kuki byakusoma. People power, our power, NUP everywhere. Mr. President, oluzungu balwogedde olungi, kakati kanjogeremuko ku Luganda naye mumutegera Oluganda mmwe bwana mwogera luzungu lwokka. For the benefit of the foot soldiers, let me begin with English because they understand English very well. Kati mwabali eyo afterwards mujja genda mu bano babavunulire. So as I was saying, Mr. President, colleague leaders, our graduates, I'm told you came with some of your parents. We do appreciate you and everybody else. I want to congratulate all of you who have been through school for the past couple of months. Thank you for taking off time to study, to add value to yourselves and to this struggle that we are doing. You see, education is in various forms and shapes. I'm sure Dr. Spire will tell us, hopefully. You know, there's the education you attain when you go through a formal structure. You go to a university like at Makerere where Dr. Spire teaches, and you study a diploma, a degree, a master's, PhD, and you get a transcript. There's education that you attain through short courses like the ones you have attained through our NUP School of Leadership. There's education that we get through this school called the world and life. And that's the lifelong education that we attain. And hopefully we get to learn and become better citizens and all of that. But I want to congratulate you. Thank you for taking off time to better yourselves. You see, for me, as far as I am concerned, we are ready and we have got what it takes to run government. At all levels. At all levels. Because you see, sometimes people think, you know, it is okay when the top is good. Our president is a lawyer. We have several educated people, Harvard and so on. It's a graduation, Muzidaba. That's a good thing. But we don't want it to be just at the top. At all levels. Because you see, we need leaders at all levels in this our country. And so from what I see, we are ready to run government. So people who had any doubts, are these people ready? Do they have what it takes? We are here and we are ready. People came from the bush, they didn't know what to do, they could not speak the English you're speaking, they had not even a single qualification. But for us, we have said, let's get ready. So that it's one thing to remove this regime, which we are going to do very soon. It's another thing for us to successfully run government, and this shows that we are ready to run government, to change this country, to better the trajectory of our country. And that's what we are doing. Nelson Mandela once said that education is the most powerful weapon that you can use to change the world. That is true. And maybe that's why this government has refused to focus on education. Because uneducated people are very easy to roll over. They're very easy to manipulate. We have always made the case, UPE, Universal Primary Education, which is supposed to be a good program. Capitation grant that is given money to run the schools to cater for the educational needs of each child is 20,000 shillings. Not per week, not per month, not per term, per year. Just think about that. 20,000 shillings allocated to each child as capitation grant in the UPE schools per year for the whole year. And somehow that child is supposed to compete with schools, private schools, the good ones and so on, to compete with the rest of the world. Not just locally here. It cannot happen. And that's why we remain raw, we remain in a vicious cycle. And for us in our alternative policies, we have always said, let's increase this capitation grant. If we are serious about educating this young generation to become the kind of leaders we want them to be, let's push it up. In fact, for us, we have said at the bare minimum, let's multiply it by 5 at the bare minimum for a start. So it is still at 20,000 shillings. That's why we have said severally, let's pay all teachers very well, not some teachers. Because what government decided, let's pay just the science teachers well. How about the arts teachers? The arts are important too. Because they're all teachers, they've qualified similarly, they teach the same man hours or woman hours. Let's pay all teachers well. Because when you don't do that, these teachers, they become lethargic. You can force them to go to class, as was the case, because Mr. Museveni called them to State House, intimidated them and said, go back to class quickly. And the poor teachers have gone back to class. But they're not teaching as they should be teaching. They're not passing on the knowledge they should be passing on because they're not well motivated. So they will lead class, yes, they will hold chalk, but they will not pass on the right content to these children. So all of those things affect education. And so this government is deliberate about frustrating education, because when people remain there in that state, research has told us that children who are in P7 in UPE schools, they cannot do P2 work. That's the research that was conducted by an entity called WEZO. Children who are in P7 UPE schools, they cannot do work of P2, but they're in P7. Then they'll go to secondary and so on. So they remain shallow. That's what we want to change. That's what our government is going to change, very deliberately, so that we become a better country, so that people who are educated can challenge leaders. Because when you're not educated, you've been seeing Mr. Museveni moving around. Those poor people at whatever age, elderly, they will kneel down and he gives them an envelope, which has, I don't know, maybe 50,000 or that kind of thing, whatever amount. But somebody who is educated, somebody who knows the value of them being a citizen, will be challenging the leader and saying, no, before you give us those envelopes, where are the roads you promised us? Where is the good healthcare? Where is the good education, infrastructure, service delivery, and so on and so forth? So that's what we want to do, and we have begun it here. So we congratulate you once again. Kale just kandoogere ku lw'abana abali eri abazadde bamanyi oluzungu ngamba abali wali bannamawulire twagala okuyuzayuza abasomi banne mwebale kusoma yogeyoge okusoma kikulu nnyo era nabamu abantu bangi nabala akulembeza abamu abava mu Nakawa West mwebale kusoma mwemirire kale pulezidenti alabe nti abanakawa tusoma obalabye pulezidenti obalabye abo bakansala abafaawo basomye mwebale butatuswaza ekyokusoma ekyokuyiga kikulu nnyo ate okuyiga tulina okimanya nti okuyiga waliwo okuyiga okubeera mu kiraasi university nakino okola degree masters phd n'ebirala ne waliwo n'okuyiga nti ogenda kubangulwa kino koosi gyemusomye oyinza obutagiteeka ku CV yo nekuweesa omulimu naye kubangudde tekulese kyekimu baleweno ne ku CV muziteekeko tomanya ojja kutuuka mu ofiisi omuntu ategeere nti ntambuza emirimu gyaffe nga NUP wanalabako kakoosi ajagamba ono gwenjagala ono abimanyi. Tubayozaayoza mwebale kuwaayo kaseera obeera omukulembeze kirungi okusigala ng'otambulira mu kumanya kubanga okumanya tekukuma otuuka ekiseera n'ogamba nti kaakati nze nkikubye nnyo awo otandisa okwonooneka. Tulina tambulira mu kumanya, mu kwongerako, mu kwongera okutegeera ensi nga bw'etambula. Nelson Mandela yagamba nti education is the most powerful weapon you can use to change the world. Nti okusoma oba ebyenjigiriza kyakulwanyisa kinene nnyo ekisobola okukozesebwa okukyusa ensi. Ate nga kituufu kubanga abantu baba nga basomyeko nga bayigirivu libeera byanjawulo, eggwanga eryo libeera lyanjawulo nnyo n'engeri gye balondamu n'engeri gye basalawo engeri gye bateeka abakulembeze ku nninga ebeera yanjawulo. Kyovudde olaba oba oliawo gavumenti eno ebyenjigiriza tebiteekako nnyo ssira. Tubeereyo mu Parliament nga tubiyombako UPE Universal Primary Education kibayita capitation grant, zino sente zigenda kuyisa omwana ono mu ssomero ebyenjigiriza bye naki. Buli mwaka buli mwana bamusasulira $200 omwaka gwonna, si wiiki si mwezi si ttaamu, omwaka gwonna. Kakati gwe teebereza $200 omwaka omulamba. Oyo omwana gwe basuubira nti ajja kutuula ebibuuzo bye bimu n'abagenda mu masomero agali wano e Kampala. Oyo mwana gwe basuubira nti ajja kusobola okompiitinga n'abaana bali mu nsi endala zonna, mu nsi yonna. Tekisoboka. Kyobulula tusigala tuli mabega ne tugamba nti abasomesa bonna basasulwe bulungi. Gavumenti yo yagamba nti tujja sasulamu abasayansi bokka, ate abalala aba arts bo si basomesa, bo tebasoma, tebasomesa ssaawa ze zimu, tebatula mu classroom y'emu. Of course kyeyakola Mwami Museveni n'abayita n'abakangakanga abo mutagende mu class tujja bagoba bambi abasomesa ne batya abatsi ne baddayo okwekalakasa ne bakuyimiriza ne baddayo okusomesa naye ebyaddala bwobigoberera abasomesa bali mu kibiina naye tebasomesa nga bwe kirina kubeera kubanga tebali motivated tebajja kuwaayo buli kimu ekibalimu okusomesa abaana bano obulungi kubanga si basanyufu kati bajja kusomesako bya mpolampola kati golowooza nti bali mu kibiina basomesa naye ngaate tebasomesa kati ovudola baffe tugamba ebintu ebyo tulina obikyusa gavumenti yaffe egenda bikyusa tuteeke essira ku byenjigiriza kubanga abantu abasomyeko abayigirivu tebajja kukola nga bino omuzibulamu Museveni yalambula n'agenda okulambula abalina obubizi abalina obukoko obusatu bambi abantu abaavu najja n'afukamira n'amuwa ebbaasa erimu ba mitwalo 5 oba mmeka kati omuntu asomyeko abagamba nedda saagala bbaasa yo njagala luguudo njagala mu ddwaliro twagala mirimu ng'abavubuka kati kyovudolaba abatubeezaawo ffe kyetwagala kikyuke ng'abantu bamanye ekyokukola bamanye ekyokubanja abakulembeze baabwe si just bbaasa wetwagala okusoboka era pulezidenti njagala kugumya nga tumaze okutwala obukulembeze ate ekyo nga tekiri wala nnyo tulina obumalirivu tulina obusobozi obuddukanya gavumenti kubanga tekikomenda ku bakulembeze nti buli bafuna zi masters ne tuzifuna aba Harvard naki twagala kiremeko bakulembeze ab'oku ntikko ffenna tubenga tumanye ekyokukola kubanga pulezidenti ngaali mu state house si abeera akulembera yekka abeera n'abakulembeze ab'enjawulo kati kino kitulaga nti ffe tuli ready okuddukanya gavumenti twagala okusobooza abalala namwe mujje musome tulabe nga eggwanga ligenda mu maaso. Congratulations again.
Kama wange mwongere engalo ez'amaanyi. Naffe aba media tuli basanyufu nti mu ssomero Jonas Sewe bali kusoma yimirira abantu bakulabeko yimirira leero alina mutaayi ali mutaayi naye yasomye so buli muntu ayina eddembe okulaba nti ayongerwako kyasobola okukola ki okwongerwako. Mr. President and the Secretariat, I will indulge you just for a minute. These graduates forgot just a small act. Please mujje mugabe ekirabo kyammwe ekyo mu ddakiika emu tugende ku programu endala. Temugenda funa omukisa gwa kwogera okujjako okusoma nti kati gwe nono ekirabo naawe nono ekirabo.
So much. The President, Deputy Presidents, the Leader of Opposition, Secretary General, the leaders around, fellow graduates, parents and everyone. Good afternoon. I'm Irene Kaija Nin. I was the treasurer for Class B, acting treasurer for Class B. I've been honored to give these gifts out very, very fast. To begin with, we have a gift for our dear coordinator, the NUP School of Leadership. Where is she? Miss Kaija Doreen, you can come forward for our very simple and beautiful gift. Thank you so much for everything you have been doing for us. We pray for you. Feel appreciated in all ways. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Our second gift goes to Razak Dalil. Where is Razak? We have a gift for you. Mr. Razak. That man wouldn't allow us to even hold phones in class. He would always be near the window. So feel appreciated. Thank you so much for everything you do. Feel appreciated. Humbly appreciated. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Feel appreciated. And our last gift goes to Mr. Kabanda, the security officer. Kabanda Zoe. Kabanda Zoe. Yeah, Kabanda would make sure once principal says it's 5 p.m., even if you come at 1 minute past, you'd go back. So thank you so much. Feel appreciated. Gifts from Class B professionals. Thank you.
Ibanga kino nakireetedde President okuva e Jamaica. Mr. President, nkuleetedde ekirabo ekyokunjigiriza okusoma. Ekyo nakijja e Jamaica.
Kino ekyaffe ekivudde mu class A, class y'aba foot soldier. Tukireetedde coordinator waffe Madam Kaija nga tumwebaza olw'okubeera maama n'atulera bulungi paka we tumaliriza. Thank you so much. Ate ne baasa tugenda juwa foot soldier munnaffe yamenyeka okugulu nga bagendeyo mu Tuwa bamutomera okugulu ne kuvaako Seruga. Era essaawa zino era akyali mu struggle wadde yavaako okugulu Mr. President. Muzoganyi waffe.
People power, our power. Let me invite our Deputy President, Northern Region, to come and take the honors of inviting the President, who will invite our Deputy President, please. I want to thank the organizing committee of this place, the executive secretary of the President, Sarah Mukubireko Mungalo, okutuyotera n'akakiiko ke konna manyi nti ali wala waliyo n'ebirala bye tuteeseteese temuvaawo nga tetukoze eki tetubibawadde naddala ba student twabalowoozezzaako mu ngeri ey'enjawulo.
Oritia! 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 Kunga School of Leadership, Kunga! Kunga Doreen, Kunga! Kunga NUP, Kunga! Your Excellency, the de facto and de jure President of the Republic of Uganda, it's not only the love people are showing you, it is that you inspired us across generations. You inspired us across the geography. You even demystified geography because you went virtual. You have gone spiritual. Who are we on behalf of the deputy presidents from the 4 regions? Inspired by the truth that as my generation sent fear to respond to fear, you led a generation and lead a generation that has sent hope to open the door for fear. And fear has run away. I've seen it, I've touched it. Yes. You have instilled and created and reincarnated the lives of Martin Luther King Jr. As they were speaking, I was walking through mentally, emotionally, that generation. I couldn't cry. We can't now cry because you are the Martin Luther King Jr. multiplied many times. What can we say? Today we can't say. We have been ignited, we are on fire, and we are ready to move. Olwaleero, nzikiriza. Kankutwale obude buno, n'emikisa gino, Bannayuganda yenna fenna, mu online ne physically, tulinda olwaleero era ddala okuva wano ne amaanyi eyo tugende wa kubanga ffe tumanyi tulaga naye gwe okulembeze waffe era ddala we believe in you, we trust in you, you inspire us. You are encouraged. May I have the honor to invite you. Zani.
People power. Our power. NUP. Everywhere. Oritia. Kunga Uganda kunga. Kunga Mama Zebriga kunga. Kunga School of Leadership kunga.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please take your seats. Madam Deputy Presidents from Western Uganda and from Northern Uganda, our dear guest, Professor Spire, fellow leaders, members, ladies and gentlemen, I salute you today. As a matter of fact, today, I don't have so much to share with you. I'm only here, just like the rest of us, to feed from the cup of wisdom of Professor Spire, a man who we admire from a distance, but we are honored to host you for the first time today, and we hope to host you many more times in the future. However, before I invite you, sir, today I must make this comment. Looking at these amazing people passing out again from our School of Leadership throws my mind so many years ago, so many years in that very ghetto of Kamocha. That place was a hangout place for ghetto youth, from their border works, from their car washing works, and those others who would come from their wallet snatching escapades. That is a ghetto where many of us would meet. I was one of them, but I had got the rare opportunity to go to school, though not substantially. So in the year 2016, I made a conscious decision to go back to law school, and that's where I met that man with the bald head called David Lewis Lubongoya. But everything that we learned in law school, I found it important to share with my fellow ghetto youth. So every lecture that we concluded, myself and Nubian Lee would hang out in the same ghetto and share the same with the ghetto youths of that day, but in a local language and in a more simplified version. When we started the People Power movement that culminated into the National Unity Platform, that very place was turned into our first headquarters. Of course, it was a pain for so many ghetto youth. Their claim was, Father, that's what they used to call me back in the ghetto. You've given away our place to the intellectuals. My answer to them was, I'm only bringing knowledge closer to you. I'm very glad to see that those words continue to come to action as we move forward. Among them were many of our comrades that I'm seeing today transforming just like myself have been transforming. We give glory back to the Almighty God for that. Friends, things are possible and things are achievable
only if you don't stop dreaming. So it fills my heart with pleasure, with gratitude, with satisfaction, and with pride to see that this is where we are today. We're certainly not where we want to be, but we are not where we used to be. But what is most important is that we are the same people, and I hope we shall continue to be the same people, only transforming from good to better. We thank God that we are here. I salute all of you that embraced the call to better yourselves. And I'll tell you, comrades, that Malcolm X was not wrong to say that education is the passport to the future. No, he wasn't. I want to assure you that Steve Biko was not wrong when he said the most important weapon in the hands of the oppressor is the mind of the oppressed. No, he was not wrong. And yes, Che Guevara was not wrong to say the first duty of a revolutionary is to get educated. Here we are. You have taken the first step. You've accomplished the first duty. Although education never ends, please take the next one to put that you learned into action, and we shall be the leaders worth our salt. I congratulate you. Go fly, go make us proud, go make Uganda proud. Go represent us, because everybody looking at you will be seeing all of us here. Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. Bannange kya kitiibwa nnyo bassebo ne bannyabo, abazadde baffe abali wano leero, abagole baffe, bakulembeze bannange mwenna, n'okusingira ddala omugenyi waffe ow'enjawulo Dr. Spire Ssentongo. Tukwaniriza nnyo ssebo omulundi gwaffe ogusoose okukyaza, era twesunze okwongera okukyaza nate enfunda eziwerako mu biseera eby'omu maaso. Bannange leero saatesetese kwogera bingi nga mbadde neererejja ennaku eziyise. Olwaleero nange okufaanana n'abalala bali wano, nange nazze kuyiga mu bigambo eby'amakulu ebiva mu mugenyi waffe omukulu Dr. Spire. Bwe tubadde tuyigirako from a distance, mwenna abajjukira munajjukira ti Professor Spire abadde wanjawulo nnyo. Waliwo omukulembeze gye buvuddeko yagamba nti mu biseera biri ebyayita abayivu omulimu gwabwe balina okusalawo kwa mirundi ebiri, either okola omulimu gwabwe nakera ku makya nasiba ettayi nagenda ku university nasomesa nawandika ebitabo nasirikiraawo, oba okudduka mu ggwanga baba wakwogera mazima. Twagala okusiima ssebo Dr. Spire nti tubadde nga ba intellectual ab'omulembe guno abamanyi amazima ate nga bagezi, naye nga amagezi gaabwe bagakozesa kukuumira mu kifo obutali bwenkanya. Ssebo okoze omulimu gw'amaanyi gwe watandika zi exhibitions omwali n'eya parliamenti, n'olabisa abantu bangi muli ne bakyali baffe, naye oba oli awo ekyo omuntu yenna yina ayagala ensi ye kyalina okukola okulaga amazima. Ssebo tukwebaza, webale nnyo webalire ddala. Lunaku lwaleero lwankizo baganda bange, ate eri nze lundeetera ebirowoozo bingi, kuba bwe ntunuulira abayizi baffe lunaku lwaleero abagenda okutikkirwa n'okufuna certificates, obwongo bwange budduka ne buddayo emyaka mingi nnyo emabega. Ekifo ekyo kyennyini abali essomero lyaffe ery'obukulembeze twakiyitanga barracks nga tukyali ba fire base crew. Ekifo ekyo lyali kuŋŋaaniro ly'abaana ba ghetto bonna gye bavudde mu kupambana kwabwe, abatembeeyi nga bakooyi nga bapoyeraawo, abavudde okwoza emmotoka nga bapoyeraawo, n'abava okunyakula obusimu nga nabo bapoyeraawo. So eyali nga ntabiro y'abaana ba ghetto, era ebiseera ebyo ng'eyali ghetto president nafunanga omukisa okunyumyangamu nabo. Ekyenjawulo nti nze nalina omukisa nga ndi mwana wa ghetto, naye nga nasomako weewaawo nali saagenda wala, era nga wetusinkanira ne twogera ku mbeera ze tuyitamu. Mu mwaka gwa 2016 nasalawo okuddayo ku ssomero okusoma amateeka, era twalina omusomesa waffe yatusomesanga amateeka, yali tanakutuka kiwalaata, sigamba nti yekikutuka. Musajja oyo yali muwanvuwanvu, we abamu temumumanyi, bali bamuyita Lubongoya. Naye nga buli lecture gye tumala muno class bweva ku university ate yo lecture nzija nenjimenyeramu bakyali bange mu ghetto ebiseera ebyo kyatukolanga bulungi kubanga fe twali tulina ensisinkana ey'enjawulo eyebangula nga buli omu kyamanyi akiyigiriza omulala kuba mu ghetto twalina enkola eya each one teach one era kyomanyi okiyigiriza banno mu lulimi lwabwe kyakitiibwa nnyo titugenze tweyubula okutuuka ku kiseera kino naye nga tetunaba kweyubula wajjawo obwetaavu era ne tuyitibwa tulina okukkiriza nti guno omulimu Katonda yatuyita tugukole era omulimu ogwo twasala ogukola twatandika ekisinde kye bayita People Power Movement ekyayiyubula ne kifuuka National Unity Platform era nga mu kifo ekyo bwe twateeka ekitebe kyaffe ekyasooka abaana abageto basooka kukomplaininga kwemulugunya nti fada ate ekifo kyaffe tubadde tutwera naffe obadde tuyigirizaamu olu actually ate kati okiwadde bano ba actually bennyini mu kubaddamu nabagamba ngezaako okusembeza kumanya gye muli kyali tekirabibwa kiseera ekyo nebaza Katonda nti kitandise okulabibwa bwe twafuna omukisa ne tufuna ekitebe ekineneko wano wenyini we tuli olw'ekisa kya Katonda twafuna era ekirowoozo ekifuulira ddala awo essomero mu bantu abaabeeranga awo mu biseera bya ghetto ndi musanyufu okulaba nti ate mu kweyubula kwaffe tetwebudde nga Lopu bw'agambe Comrade Ssenyonyi bakulembeze bankutiko bokka ne mu abo mwe mwali nga ndabyeko Dogo City One oyo yali omu ku bo ndabyeko Pafuje waali wano Pafuje yali omu ku bo era mu abo abaana abaalinga awo nga bayaye baawo bwe twafuna n'omu ku bakulembeze gwe bayita Twaha Amin oyo ng'akiikirira Naggulu naye njagala okwebaza mwenna baganda baffe abaawulira omulango ogwo ogw'okukkiriza okuyiga era ne mwenyigira mu kusoma okwo guno gwe mulundi ogwokubiri nga tupasinga out oba nga tutikkira abayizi okuva mu ssomero eryo mbeebaza nnyo mbeebaza okumanya ensonga enkulu tikino tekikoma ku muntu omu naye kikulu nnyo ekyomanyi n'okiyigiriza omulala naye nakiyigiriza omulala naye nakiyigiriza omulala yengeri gyetusobodde okubeerawo byetumanyi tubimanyi kubanga baatusookawo baatuwa omukisa ne tubiyiga kyova olaba mbagamba nti yali mutuufu nnyo omugezi Malcolm X bwe yagamba nti okuyiga ye passport egenda okutwambuza okutuusa mu biseera by'omu maaso ebyokweyagala yali mutuufu nnyo Steve Biko bwe yagamba ekyokulwanyisa ekyasinza okuba ekyamaanyi nga kiri mu mikono gy'oyo anyigiriza bwe bwongo oba endowooza y'oyo anyigirizibwa era yali mutuufu kyeguvera nga tugamba nti omulimu gw'oyo omulwanirizi w'eddembe ogusookera ddala kwe kuyigirizibwa oba okubangulwa kyakitiibwa nnyo tiri mu kaseera kano tulina ate ababanguddwa mu nnono yaffe mu ntegera yaffe mu birubirwa byaffe n'endowooza yaffe n'entegera yaffe ng'aba National Unity Platform lina okumanya wa gye tuva ng'eggwanga osobola okumanya n'okusalawo wa gye tugenda oba gye tulina okugenda tosobola kumanya wa gy'olaga nga tomanyi gy'ova nedda omugezi omu yagamba the farther back you look is the farther in front you see tewetaaga kulengera nnyo mu maaso okumanya gy'olaga nedda tunula weetegereze wa gye tuvudde kijja kuwa ekifaananyi okulaba wa gye tulaga oba n'okuwa endowooza oba ebirowoozo enteekateeka wa gye tulina okulaga ekyo nno kye tuliko olunaku lwaleero basewo ne bannyabo njagala obayozaayoza mwenna abeewaddeyo abatindiza eŋŋendo nga muganda waffe okuva Kasese n'ojja n'obeera part of us n'ojja n'oyiga njagala okusalutinga abaganda baffe ndabye Jona wano omu ku bakulembeze ababannamawulire baffe okuba nti mu skedyo eri bize osobodde okwewaayo n'osoma nayitayoko ku ssomero nasanyuka nnyo n'okusangayo abantu abatalina kye beetaaga nga basita already nga muganda waffe Dax Katel music star already naye newaayo ayige oguno gwe mwoyo n'omutima gwe twetaaga ffenna ng'eggwanga mbayozayoza nnyo basebo ne bannyabo mugende mutuweese ekitiibwa mugende mulage ekifaananyi kyaffe yemmwe be tulina bulijjo otambula njagala omanye nti otambula naffe ffenna n'emikisa gyaffe gyonna n'obwesigwa bwaffe bwonna mutuweese ekitiibwa abantu abanaabalaba bajja kusinziira ku mmwe okutupima mukole kyonna kyonna kye musobola okutuwa ekifaananyi ekirungi emuyize temubikomya ku mmwe mwekka batuyigiriza abatuli owamwoyo nti tosobola kukuma tawaaza ate nogirikako ekibbo bwokuma etawaaza olina ogireka ekitangala nekyakira buli omu ate omusubbaawa tegulina kyegufiirwa nga gukozeseddwa okoleza ku musubbaawa omulala muli misubbaawa basebo ne bannyabo mugende mukulanye emisubbaawa emirala ensi eyake ffenna twake tufune ekitangala omugigi gwaffe gusobole okuyamba omugigi gwaffe gwennyini n'emigigi gyonna gyonna eginaddako mwebale nnyo mwebalire ddala kwewaayo mwebale nnyo mwebalire ddala ate mufuuke bakulembeze not even the sky is the limit mukama abampe nnyo omukisa mwebale nnyo mwebalire ddala n'obugambo obwo ssebo Dr. Spire saba okkirize nkuyite ojje oyogereko gye tuli.
Mukyayimiridde. Ansuubire ku geeti waliwo obukuumi obumala kubamwe mwamanyiire okuddukadduka abamu kuffe emisinde gyaffe tetugyesiga olwekyo abali ku geeti kansuubire baategese bulungi banze n'ekigere kinnuma ebajjira wano ntuula kutuusa. Honorable Kyagulanyi, the President of NUP, the Leader of Opposition, the Secretary General, all the Deputy Presidents, other party leaders, our graduates, other leaders present, the parents to the graduates, friends, everyone, I'm really honored to be before you today as the guest speaker. I congratulate the graduates. I was informed that this is the second certificate awarding ceremony, and that last year the keynote speaker was General Muntu. So this year they looked around for another general, and they felt that I would be the right person to give the keynote speech. Not really to say that the general title is a big one, especially today. But nevertheless, I'm really honored. I want to first thank you, before I go into the main the gist of my invitation. I thank you, many of you, for standing with us when I lost my brother a few days ago. Yeah, many of you are there with us. You've sent us messages. I've not read many of the messages because they were overwhelming. You've sent messages, condolences, some of you called. Yeah, we really don't take that for granted. Yeah, I thank you so much for that. And in that line, Abantu Mukisa Eda, to request you that we stand up for a moment of silence in honor of my fallen brother, Dr. John Bosco Chigundu Spire. May his soul rest in peace. When I'll not have to translate, I want to assume that many of us will understand me, but also for the sake of including those who may not understand Luganda. Otherwise, if I translate, we might spend the whole day here. So here and there, I'll use a bit of Luganda, but I may not translate everything. When Mr. David Rubongoya reached out to me, I first turned down the invitation. Of course, following the recent loss of my dear brother, I have not yet recovered from the shock and pain. I've been quiet for a while since my mind is not yet in the right place. I'm still going through a long night. But I quickly remembered that when my brother died, Mr. Rubongoya is one of the so many people that reached out to me with condolences and a message from the President, Honorable Robert Kyagulanyi. Abaganda bagamba nti munno mukabi. He is a friend in difficult times, he's a true friend. But also on top of that, although I have not been very close to NUP, and this is my first time here, on a number of occasions, the leaders have reached out to me, sometimes encouraging me, please visit us, could we have a talk? A few years ago, I held a comedy show, and I was surprised to see the entire crew of Honorable Kyagulanyi. Yes, even Nubian Lee was there with his small voice. I saw him in the audience. Yes, and Eddie Mutwe, the Secretary General as well. I was really surprised because I never invited any politician, especially I wouldn't invite them because I wanted the show to go on. I don't know whether their intention was to sabotage the show by their presence. Yeah, but it means a lot if one can just randomly show up, and they showed up in such a number. I'm impressed by people who are humble. I'm impressed by people who do not try to show that they are high up there, but who can calm down, regardless of the positions they might hold or their qualifications. And I've seen this on a number of occasions, your leaders going to places where you wouldn't expect them to be. So that being with me, that being with us in grieving, but also on other occasions where it was really surprising for them to be there. I don't take it for granted. I remember even the time I was quarantined, again, Honorable Kyagulanyi called me, and he's one of those that try to encourage me to go through that difficult time. So therefore, despite my current circumstances, I changed my mind and accepted to be here today. A friend I told about coming here asked me, are you sure you want to go there? Are you sure you want to be kidnapped while still grieving? I told him that the kidnappers are human, they can't do that. Yes, and sometimes they are too stupid, they could take that for a compliment. The second reason why I accepted is because I believe that my relevance as an academic is primarily in being able to share the knowledge I have been privileged to acquire with my people that might need it. My titles mean little or nothing if I'm irrelevant to my community. We who want to consider ourselves to be highly educated have on so many occasions dismissed those who are trying to change what is not going right in this country. We have said that they lack knowledge. We said they are not well groomed. We have said they are unwashed. We have said they are still raw. In one of the speeches, I think the representatives of the group, yes, she said, you went to the training when you were, did you mean raw or low? Oh, when you were raw. And now the president whispered to me that now you're low, L-A-W. Yes, so they said that some of you were raw and dismissed you on that account. Yet whenever we are invited to rise to the occasion, we shy away with excuses. I have chosen to respect whoever tries to do what needs to be done, even if they may not be perfect, even if they may be imperfect. After all, we are all imperfect. Era Abaganda tugamba nti akanyuga lyali nalyo n'olwekyo mbasaamu ekitiibwa olw'okukanyuga lye muli nalyo, wadde abamu bagamba nti ttono oba wadde abamu bagamba nti mukutte ekifunfugu. I will certainly critique them, but in the spirit of improving, not destroying. That is the second reason why I accepted to come. I'm not here because you're perfect. No one is. I'm not here because I agree with everything you do. I'm not here because I think you have the best credentials. I'm here because, unlike many of us, you chose not to fold your hands. You chose to do what you can do in your capacity, which is better than doing nothing. I'm here because despite of all the risks you face, despite of the pictures on those walls of your comrades who have died in the struggle, despite of your colleagues being locked away in this beautiful country's jails without any fair trial, despite frequent threats of crushing you for no good reason, despite the everyday risk of being rounded up and driven away for torture, despite temptations of big monies being thrown at you, you people still stand by what you believe. I respect that. Yes, it is indeed surprising that with all that has happened at this place, you can still come here and find people seated here. You would only expect a fool to sit in such a place. Because for some, even just passing there, they have to run. Because this is a dangerous place. It's like what we used to hear about Bermuda Triangle. So for you to choose to still stay in a place that is that risky to be, especially where the risk is not for having broken any law, but for standing by a certain cause. I really respect that. Whether I agree with it or not, I still respect it. And especially because we don't have many people today who are willing to take such a stance. The third reason I'm here is because of your constant efforts at making yourselves better. You have challenged many of us at individual level, we who consider ourselves to be more worthy. You have challenged all the political parties and seasoned politicians. Of course, it's not to say or to despise them. They are doing some of them are doing wonderful things. But I think it's a challenge for the few years you've been around to do what you've been able to do. We may publicly bash you, but we privately ask ourselves, aba bavubuka bakikola batya? You have responded to dismissal by proving your capacity to grow and transform, as the President said. We said you're not educated, which was not entirely true, because many of you are really educated and even highly educated. But when we say that you're not educated, many of you went back to school. We said you were Abayizi hooligans. Although I think many of you might have believed, like I do, that there is nothing wrong with carrying dreadlocks. You painfully cut them off to fit into the public's idea of a decent person. After all, and this reminds me of a song by Morgan Heritage. You don't? Yes, right. You don't have to dread to be Rasta. You don't have to dread to be Rasta. Yes, it's not a dreadlocks thing, it's a divine conception of the heart. Nubiani, I expected to hear a small voice behind. I don't know why, for the many years I've been hearing your collabos with now Bobby Wine, I don't know why you choose to always sing the small voice and he sings the big one. Yes, but the point I'm trying to make is that even when they said your Bayaye, some of you had to cut off your dreadlocks, although you knew that it's not really about the dreadlocks, it's not about appearance, it's what one has at heart, what one has in their mind. You chose to cut them off to fit into the public narrative for the sake of what you believed needed to be done. You set up a leadership school whose fruits we are celebrating today, something that was unprecedented. We wondered what the curriculum was, and it has been asked many times. I heard you mention some of the things you studied, but many people have been asking, what is that school teaching and who are the lecturers? I've been able to see some of them here today. Yes, but that's no mean achievement, and beyond it being an achievement, it also shows the zeal to learn, and understanding that we are not going to keep ourselves in a particular position. We need to inform ourselves in order to do what we have to do. Someone said that, I forget the name, that if he was given a task of cutting down a tree and he was given 4 hours, he would spend the first 3 hours sharpening the axe and maybe 1 hour to cut the tree. You have been sharpening your axe because there was a provision that was set according to the vision, which I really commend. Earlier this year, you invited me to speak to your trainees. It was my first time to visit your facilities. One thing that struck me was how the trainees listened very attentively and with very high discipline for over 3 hours. For over 3 hours, I overstayed my welcome. I was invited to speak for 1 hour, I ended up speaking for 3. But they stayed there listening attentively. And the discipline with which they took instruction from the director, Miss Doreen Kaija, it was really amazing. At the time I visited the school, it had just been violently raided by security and most equipment had been confiscated. I asked if there was a projector that I could use for my presentation. And Doreen responded, "We don't have, everything was taken." But when I entered the room, I found it packed with people waiting for me. I asked them, "You people, how are you able to still gather in this place, yet you know you can be rounded up anytime?" They simply laughed. I found that commitment and the desire to learn quite impressive. The fourth reason why I'm here, now when I'm giving the reasons, it sounds like I'm singing UB40's song. Which song is that? Even Doctor is also into the thing. Yes, reasons why I love you 1, reasons why I love you 2. Now I'm on the 4th reason. This is a selfish one. I'm here to distract myself from the pain of losing my brother and to use this occasion to make reflections on life, purpose and resilience, which could speak to your life experiences and aspirations. When John died, almost everything I have been doing lost meaning. kati abakamera balinze nkaabe sigenda kaaba agala mukwata akafaananyi mukajjeyo nga wayise emyaka ng'akapasita bugingo mukatambuze sigenda kaaba wadde enkovu zinnuma. So when John died, almost everything I have been doing lost meaning. I keep asking myself, what for? What is life all about? What is the actual difference between being alive and being dead? Why do we struggle so hard in life only to vanish like wildflowers? Why do people who try to do good suffer? Why do those who bring pain to others often live long? What is the worth of our effort on earth? Why should we continue doing anything or even continue to live? So many questions, very few clear answers. I will only expand on one here. The question of why we are here on earth is a difficult one to answer. Ensonga lwaki tuli wano ku nsi ng'abantu nzibu nnyo okuzuula. From a religious angle, the answer comes easily, that we are here to worship God and do whatever He created us to do. I would focus more on the second purpose of doing what we were created for. On the purpose of worshiping God, I'm hesitant to believe that a perfect God would create us simply for the sake of singing His greatness. Only imperfect beings wish to be worshipped. I'm therefore more inclined to believe in worship through actions towards our fellow imperfect human beings and other animals. I don't so much believe in worship that is about only singing about God's greatness if that is not reflected in our actions. I think our actions mean much more than what we can see. On the second purpose, how do we know what God created us for? Even the thief might argue that if we say that God knew us before we were born, then God knew that he would be a thief. Therefore, he is simply fulfilling God's plan. The torturer might make the same argument. Maybe that is why they often talk about torturing others and they mention Jesus in the same statement. Maybe that is why they would make public apologies but without regretting or redressing any specific harm that they did to others. We would argue that perhaps the best way to tell if what we are doing or plan to do is what God created us for is to check if it is in line with what God encourages in the scriptures and what we consider to be God's nature. Can a good God create a person with the purpose of harming others? That would contradict God's nature as we know it. The other approach to understanding our purpose is by simply studying human nature in general and our particular uniqueness as individuals in our circumstances. When you keenly study human beings, you realize that there are two important elements that shape our key life choices. The two elements are happiness and pain. I consider those to be the most important aspects of human life, happiness and pain, and I will explain why. We are trying to maximize happiness for ourselves and to minimize pain or suffering. The reason you graduates chose to study is to maximize your happiness in some way and to minimize the pain that would come from not doing this course or the pain that would come from not being informed. The reason you go to hospital when you're sick is to minimize pain. The reason you seek for a well-paying job is to minimize happiness. rather to maximize happiness and minimize the pain of poverty or being broke. The reason you buy a car or build a house, the reason you produce children and take them to school is more or less the same. The reason why human beings at one point came up with the idea of having a government above them is so that it would help them to do things that they could not do individually. I don't think human beings set up governments as an end in themselves, as that a government was a good thing to be there just as a government. It was set in place to help them achieve things that they could not achieve individually, as a way of maximizing happiness, especially to protect their lives, to protect their liberty, or to safeguard it, and their property. People agreed to pay taxes for the sake of what they expected in return. Therefore, governments in the modern sense were precisely created by human beings in order to maximize happiness and minimize pain. Not so that the powerful can maximize their happiness at the expense of the weak or subjects. The forms of government that survive on exploiting those under them have been tried in human history and found to be unsustainable. Even though some parts of the world still insist on them, they are not sustainable and they end up crashing, unfortunately, with so many people over time. We then realize that it is not enough for us to pursue what makes us happy and minimizes our individual pains without regard to the happiness and pain of others. The limit of your search for happiness is that point at which your happiness starts causing pain to others. This is where a sadist's view of happiness becomes problematic. A sadist is someone who gets happiness from the suffering of others. It is a mental disorder. If you ever see someone celebrating the pain of others, and especially if they are not celebrating the pain of an oppressor, then that person has a mental disorder. Because naturally, you would feel bad or something would haunt you if another person is going through pain. A person who celebrates the torture of another is a sadist, except, and I want to emphasize, except if the one whose suffering is being celebrated is the kind that causes pain to others. I'm one of those who believe that it's not a bad thing to celebrate the pain of an oppressor. And I saw people throwing that at me when I lost my brother. But the difference is, my brother was not an oppressor of anyone. I'm not an oppressor of anyone, or so I would want to believe. So celebrating his death wouldn't really make sense in that context. But if the person who has died has been making the life of others unbearable, it is understandable why those people would celebrate naturally. Ideally, as human beings, the most ideal world would be one where we care about maximizing each other's happiness and minimizing each other's pain. Many conflicts in the history of humanity have been caused by a desire of different individuals or groups to exclusively care about their happiness without being bothered about the pain of others. While we human beings boast about being the only rational animals, it is strange how our rationality often fails to show us that a world where the happiness of some individuals is based on the suffering of others is never sustainable. How does our rationality fail to show us that almost obvious case? The one whose happiness inflicts pain on others can never really be happy in the long run. I repeat, the one whose happiness inflicts pain on others can never really be happy in the long run. They live in fear. They keep worrying about what their victims would be planning. Their display of anger and violence is not always because they want to show power. It is mostly because they are frightened. Have you ever observed the reaction of a dog that is trapped in a room when you get in? The anger it shows as it growls is actually born out of fear. That is why the slave abolitioner Frederick Douglass said that no man can put a chain on the leg of his fellow man without at last finding the other end fastened around his neck. I repeat this quote from Frederick Douglass. No man can put a chain around the leg of a fellow man or a fellow woman without at last finding the other end of that chain fastened around his own neck. And it's partly why the oppressors live in fear. Much as they will chain others, that chain is also around their necks. It is not really a good thing to live in fear all the time. One of the reasons they would have high security, unnecessarily high security, is because they are afraid of what those they lead, which is a contradiction. Why should I fear people that I lead? Especially if I assume they love me. Knowing then that no one desires pain, and that often the pain we cause to others ultimately affects our happiness, we should all seek to pursue a life that aims at the greatest happiness possible for everyone and the least pain possible. As you think about what you should be as a leader in your different capacities, seek to be that leader who does not prioritize his or her own happiness, even when it harms others. Corruption becomes wrong because of how it harms others for the sake of the happiness of some. I imagine that some of you are planning to stand in the forthcoming election, some of you graduates. I have already seen posters with all sorts of catchy slogans, some clearly deceptive. Do you really mean your slogans, or it is just a bait to catch voters? What is motivating you to stand for that position? What is motivating you to sell your property to raise funds for campaigns? Is it to maximize the happiness of those you seek to represent? Is that the reason why party cards are a do or die? Is that why people fight and treat each other as enemies in elections? Is it mainly about competition to serve? Are these people who are almost willing to kill each other simply competing to serve? That I would die in order to be the one to serve people? I think we need to reflect about that. What is the balance between personal interests? Thank you. What is the balance between personal interests and the interest to serve? While we congratulate you, the graduates, for having accomplished the leadership training, your certificate is not what we celebrate. We celebrate what we expect you to have become. We do not expect you to always remind us about what you studied. We simply want to see the difference in your actions. It should be your actions to announce what you studied, not just the certificate or your words. We don't primarily care about the quality of the dog in the fight. We mainly care about the quality of the fight in the dog. As Wole Soyinka once said, a tiger does not announce its tigritude. A tiger doesn't have to announce that, hey, I'm a tiger. How do you know that it's a tiger? The tiger does not have to announce its tigritude, it pounces. And after it has pounced, then you would know that that is what? Ugandans are in the habit of announcing their titles. I'm Dr. Mchibi Yusuf. I'm Engineer Opolot Patrick. I'm Honorable Agaba James. Yes, but in my view, it would make more sense if it is the people who added the title on the basis of what they see in you. It shouldn't be you to announce your own importance. You could have noticed, and I'm not in the habit of praising myself, just to make the point, you will not see my title anywhere on my social media handles. You will not see Dr. Spire Ssentongo. It's just my name plain. If one feels I should be called doctor, then they should use the title, but not me to announce it everywhere and to introduce myself. I'm honored to be here. I'm Dr. Spire Ssentongo. Yes, I worked for it, but the fact that I worked for it is not the most important thing. To me, the most important thing is what that title can do. Sometimes I've appeared on discussions, talk shows, and I've seen a comment on social media. What is a cartoonist doing discussing politics? I don't have to tell them anything. I don't have to justify myself, to tell them about my qualifications, except on one occasion when I had to do it, when I felt it was quite provocative. I just told the person, here is my CV. I have 4 degrees and 2 of them are first-class degrees. Can I know yours? And I did not get a response. But that's not the important thing. Actually, despite, I mentioned it some time back, despite of all the degrees I have, you will not even find a graduation photo picture in my house. I don't have even one. For other reasons, but one of them, I don't want to be the one to, every visitor should see, the owner of this house has all these degrees and therefore they know how to behave in the house. First and foremost, they should know that they have visited a human being. That is the most important thing. Uganda is not short of educated people. Uganda is not short of people desiring to be leaders. Uganda is mainly short of people that are willing and ready to use their knowledge and positions for doing good beyond their personal interests. Ugandan politics is not simply short of people of integrity. Rather, Ugandan politics is simply short of people of integrity. And this runs across the political divide, across the spectrum. We have seen crooks in government, and we have seen real crooks in the opposition. Is that true? We've seen crooks in government and real crooks where? You do not become entitled to being a crook simply because you're in opposition. Recently, when we held the Parliament exhibition with Agora, which Honorable Kyagulanyi mentioned, with a few exceptions, I was shocked by the silence of most opposition MPs about the rot in the House. Many of them avoided commenting or even volunteering information about the abuse of taxpayers' money in Parliament, which they were actually aware about. Many of them were quiet. I'm not shocked by the silence of those NRM independents, but the silence of opposition people when we are here exhibiting Parliament and the rot there. And you try to contact some of the people in opposition whom you would imagine that would be their interest. Nothing. They don't give you any information until it comes out, and then they call you and say, we knew that. We have always known that that thing is happening. So that's why I say there are crooks in government and there are crooks where? And that being in opposition does not entitle you to being a crook. So many of them avoided commenting or even volunteering information about those abuses which they knew. Like in Animal Farm, we the other animals peeped through the window. We looked at the humans and we looked at the pigs, and we could hardly notice the difference. With a few exceptions, and I'm happy to mention that Honorable Esanyu was one of those exceptions. That that at least once in a while he could volunteer some information, but I'm not going to say which information. Tuli bachama chaffe ku ttale. Nakati kikyandi ku mutima. Some opposition MPs are part of the schemes where they are given money for trips and workshops that they never attend, or whose days they exaggerate to get more per diem from taxpayers. Even opposition MPs do that. Some opposition MPs took the 100 million bribe that was given recently during the debate on the court-martial issue. And we know it. Some awarded themselves huge packages without considering the pain of the taxpayer and without considering what basic services could be provided with that amount of money. And they reciprocate for these favors by also closing an eye to the theft done by their bosses in parliament. So they make their deals, they are given these trips, for some of which they don't go. But when the speaker or the deputy speaker or other NRM MPs do something, the deal is that they should also close one eye. We need to reflect deeply on that and not simply to identify as opposition if we can still do such things that are against the interest of the country and our people. Now they are back with beautiful slogans on posters looking for votes. I imagine we all know what to do. Remember that being in opposition comes with an even bigger burden of proving to be more worthy than those in power. In assessing your actions, people are assessing to see if you're worth trying, if there is any difference. We may not want to hear this, but some actions of politicians in opposition make people fear to change from the devil they know. I repeat this, which we may not want to hear. Some actions of politicians in opposition make people to fear changing from the devil that they know. At times I have drawn one or two critical cartoons of the opposition, and the insults I got made me scared what such individuals would do to me if they had more power. Like, you have drawn hundreds of cartoons about the other side. You draw just one or two critical of people in opposition and they insult you for 2-3 days. Naturally, you withdraw a bit and ask yourself, if these people actually get more power, what are they capable of doing? Now extend that beyond me, because at least for me, I'll say it. There are many people who are quiet there observing without saying anything. But sometimes you make them change their mind. That if these people are acting like this, without power, what would happen if they have more? I understand that sometimes this is caused by anger. That we are too angry because of all the suppression, all the oppression. But what that oppression, the trap that is set for us, what it makes us do could sometimes be risky, could change the minds of others. I'm told that some of you graduating are foot soldiers. We have foot soldiers here. Foot soldiers? I know, because you're not sure of what I want to say, there are now a few who are identifying as foot soldiers. Yes, I understand some of you graduating are foot soldiers, and I know that you do a great job being there on the front line, sometimes to combat people that we are not able to combat, sometimes to push back against narratives that are misleading. But I would only add a small thing. Mwige okulowoozanga ennyo ku ki ebikolwa byammwe kye biyinza okulowoozesa abantu. Ekiddamu era ne pulezidenti yakyogeddeko. Mwige okulowoozanga ennyo ki ebikolwa byammwe kye biyinza okulowoozesa abantu. Oluusi muvuma ekiteetaagisa. Sigamba mmwe ndowooza abataliiwo. Oluusi muvuma ekiteetaagisa. oluusi omuntu anyiiga n'avuma ndowooza nange nalinyiizeeko n'envuma ate nze nvumira mu katuuni sivuma butereevu ng'abamu bummwe naye ate okuvuma tokufuula nkola kyabuntu olumu okunyiiga n'ova mu mbeera olumu ng'ova mu mbeera ng'onyiiza ovuma naye okuvuma tekulina kufuuka nkola. It should not become a method. Nga n'omuntu akubuuza ekibuuzo okumanya endowooza yo omuvuma buvumi akuwabula naye n'omuvuma. We may say that that is not the official party position, and I imagine so, but we have to tame ourselves as individuals. Every individual, whether you're this side or that side or outside, it's always a good thing to be prudent, to tame ourselves, to know what we should do in particular circumstances or not. Your sense of judgment is best seen in how you react to challenges. Our sense of judgment is not best seen when everything is smooth. Not so. People judge us most by how we behave when we are challenged, not by how we behave when everything is okay. The leadership you intend to show when you get power is first exemplified by how you conduct yourselves outside power. How you use the power you have now. Let your education be seen in that, not just photos and gowns. Abantu bangi batunula mu kasirise beetegereza ate tebeerabira. Emirundi egisinga omuntu gw'ovumye teyeerabira, gwe weerabira. Abaganda bagamba nti kyerabirwa mugambi naye, kyerabirwa mugambi naye tekyerabirwa mugambirwa. Olw'okuba ovuma abantu bangi ojja kuvuma weerabira, naye nze gw'ovumye seerabira, era oluusi bwe ntunulako n'endaba eno profile picture kulina akakofiira yanvumye. So nsigala ekyo kisigalamu, ne bwe twogera naye muli kisigalamu, omuntu ono yanvuma. Naddala bw'onvuma nti wali nsonga, waliwo omuntu lwakuvuma naawe n'okkiriza naye mbadde nsaana okuvumibwa, ekyo tekiruma nnyo. Kuba emirundi egisinga n'asaana okuvumibwa tamanya nti asaana okuvumibwa. Some of you seated here now might jump the fence tomorrow to the total opposite of what you appear to stand for now. It is actually okay to defect if one realizes on grounds of principle that they were wrong yesterday. Abamu kumwe mugenda kukyuka enkya. Muli mu colors zino enkya bajja balaba mu kala endala. Tewali buzibu kukyuka, naddala bwe kubanga ekikukyusizza kulaba nti wembadde ndi mbadde mukyamu ng'olina ensonga eyesimba, naye si buli kukyuka nti tekulina buzibu. It is actually okay to defect if one realizes on grounds of principle that they were wrong yesterday, or that the group they belong to lost direction. Only a fool doesn't change their mind when there is good reason to do so. However, the reason for your change of mind matters a lot. Jumping from one political affiliation to another in pursuit of positions and personal benefits is a mark of a leader we do not need. I repeat, jumping from one political affiliation to another in pursuit of positions and personal benefits is a mark of a leader we do not need. Also note that defection is not an entirely personal matter. Defection is not only about you, it's not an entirely personal matter. An individual who defects for selfish reasons leaves behind broken hearts of those who believed in him or her, and who might find it hard to ever trust a politician again. Bw'okyuka nga waliwo abantu abali bakukkiririzaamu ennyo, ate ng'okyusa olwatali nsonga eri awo naye okyuserwa by'oyagala okufuna. Abantu b'oba omazeemu amaanyi baba bayitirivu nga mwe muli n'abo abagamba sijja kuddamu kwesiga munnabyabufuzi. Kati kitegeeza nti tekiri ku ggwe wekka. It's not your decision alone. That decision goes along with so many other people that you're going to affect, but also affecting the country that others desire to see. Some will choose never to vote again because they voted for someone who ended up betraying them. They voted for someone who ended up changing side. Just like some women whose hearts have been broken by a man that they trusted so much, they may now be saying all men are dogs. So ng'omusajja yakumenya omutima yali omu naye n'oga abasajja bonna mbwa. Kati n'emufa abamala gakyukakyuka mulimu abalowoozesa abantu nti bannabyabufuzi zonna mbwa. Ebyobufuzi tebigenda kuddamu kuntwala kuba omuntu gw'oyiirawo omubiri. Ekyo kigambo kyenkozesezza kyantama n'okuwulira. Era ndowooza ku luno tewali azze ng'asuubiza okuyiirawo munno omubiri. Omuntu gw'obadde oyiirawo omubiri n'ozuula nti ali mu bibye, bw'atuuka eddaala n'alisindika. You're not only accountable to yourself and your party leaders, but also to those that look up to you, many of whom you may never actually know. Lastly, you know better than me that the terrain you are faced with is a rough one. Kino mukimanyi okunsinga. Kyemuyingiridde oba kyemulimu already kiki? Kyemulimu kiki? Nga bwe nayogedde nga ntandika. Ffe tubeereeyo ne twewuunya naye abantu abali awo balina kizibu ku mitwe oba conviction ye y'amaanyi ennyo nti n'ebino byonna ebibaddewo era omuntu addayo. Oli n'awandiika ku mukutu nti ngenda kukwasa omutwe n'osanga era ng'omuntu akomyewo ng'alinga agamba oba ogwasagwase. So kyenva ngamba nti kyemutunuulidde mukimanyi okunsinga. It is a very tough terrain, especially now that we are in election time and that we have someone in charge that we don't know what they are capable of, or we have an idea of what they are capable of, but it is not something that you can look up to. Some of you might die. Abamu muyinza okufa. Or I can even put it in the affirmative and not threaten anyone. Abamu mujja kufa. Tujja komawo wano nga tugamba omugenzi gundi twali naye wano. Ekyo sikyogera kutiisa naye tukimanyi kuba bangi nga bwe nagaye ebifaananyi ebimu ebiri awo by'abantu abaafa ate nga baali bannaffe nga n'ekyabatiisa tukimanyi. Some of you might get crippled. It was a very emotional moment when you were handing a gift to one of your comrades who was disabled or was lost his limb when he was doing this work. But we know all the time that we could all end up like that. Recently there was, I think during the Kawempe elections, there is this video which was making rounds that really touched me so much, of a certain gentleman whose leg had been broken, but he was still standing on the, it's called who? Tower. That even with all that pain, with a broken leg, he could still go there and lift it, showing that they've broken my leg. And you know, there are many other people who see that, but they are still willing to go, which is one of the reasons I gave for coming here. fact, what some of those people don't know, that by doing that, to people who are innocent, you end up emboldening those who are not even concerned. Because they also ask themselves, but how can one be this ruthless? So much as I might not be able to do what you do, but I really admire it. But the point I was trying to make was that all that is going to happen. Some of you might lose loved ones. Some of you will go to jail. I see you holding placards of colleagues, of your comrades depressed. Seek for counseling support. Care about your mental health. Mental health is very important. Sometimes what your oppressor does is to make you lose your mind. And once you lose it, they use it as a weapon against you. Yet you are so be mindful about your mental health, although it's not totally in your hands to choose. It is okay to take breaks once in a while and recollect yourself. You're human and your body has limits. Talk to those who have been through similar experiences, especially trusted elders, and seek for their counsel. I have to underline that, especially trusted elders. I don't agree with the narrative that every elder is one. So when you're challenged, seek the counsel of elders, those who have gone through some of these things and can advise you. Do not open too many fronts at the same time if you can avoid it. Totandika ntalo nyingi omulundi gumu naddala ng'entalo ezimu tezeetaagisa. Omanya olutalo lw'oliko n'otunuulira olwo, obumu obutono n'obwewala n'obuleka. Know when to fight, know when to run. From which song is that line? Yes, The Gambler by Ken Rogers. Know when to fight, know when to run. Know what to respond to, know what to ignore. About knowing what to ignore, I don't even have to advise you on that. I've seen some of your leaders doing it very well. There are people who will say certain things and I think they expect now he is going to say something. Total silence. So that is part of the wisdom that we need sometimes. To ignore what we think does not olutalo nja kumwetaaga. Kansooke muleke kati ndimuddira ng'ateredde. Si buli lutalo Seek for strategic alliances, not just for building your own power as an individual or as a party. Honorable Esanyu talked about that. And I think Mr. Katana, if your different camps working towards the same goal, why fight each other? Sometimes this discourages, actually often it discourages people out there. When you see people that you imagine to be working towards the same thing, fighting, you start asking yourself, but are they really working for that thing? Because if they were working towards that, then they shouldn't be fighting each other. So let's look at it. I think it's the spirit that we need. For those that we trust, there are those that might not really be, might not have won our trust. It is a waste of energy and an indicator of selfishness or lack of clarity of purpose for us to fight people who are trying to do the same thing that we are doing. I wish you the very best in your next plans. Go and
when the struggle is over, we shall wear the victor's crown. We shall wear the victor's crown. When the struggle is over, we shall wear the victor's crown. In the new Uganda, people power. Power. NUP banedda Tuli mukubira engalo ez'amaanyi ddala. Sebo tubire Katonda engalo ez'amaanyi. Mr. President, because we are bogged with time, I will not waste any other time but invite our Secretary General to take us through the graduation ceremony. Graduation award ceremony.
People power. Is it a graduation or award ceremony? Kale ni mwetulira. No, eno si service award ceremony. Mr. Fundraising Committee, in a very special way, Comrade Kaija Dorin, who coordinates the School of Leadership. Ladies and gentlemen, time is fast spent, so I think we'll do this very quickly. But allow me, Mr. President, first of all, to appreciate you once again for availing the space at Kamocha for our School of Leadership. Asemo ne banyabo, tukyogerako buli kiseera, NUP tesasula ssente okozesa ekifo kye Kamocha. Kamocha awali essomero lyaffe, espesi ya president nga bw'abanyonyodde. Nze nno nagendangayo ku barracks eyo gy'ayogeddeko. Ne mbasanga bali awo. Saagala kwogera byali alufe yaliwo mu kiseera ekyo. Naye yo yaliwo. Ogendawo ne wasanga awo nga boogera ebintu. Naye mpola mpola nange nayingira ghetto. So I want us to appreciate the president for that. Number two, I want to also add that when the military raided the School of Leadership, the entire library was
emptied. Ebitabo byaffe byonna byonna bye twali tuguze ssente nnyingi ku ssomero eryo baabitwala tebikomangawo, babibba tebikomangawo. And you remember that before they raided, they first summoned us to the police to ask us, what do you teach? And all that and all that. But we told them that, but you people also have changwanzi where you teach people how to steal and hide the evidence and all that. Why are you also bothered by us who are teaching integrity and leaders of value? So they found themselves in a big trouble, but when we went for that meeting, they promised that anytime we shall raid that school and even close it down. But I'm very glad that we are still operating and able to do what we are doing. Finally, on that point, I think you people see why the regime really gets so bothered and even contemplates right now their new target is to see how to deprive NUP of funding. Because they see that the little money we get, we put it to good use. These people who are getting certificates today, have you paid anything? So we are able to run the school, we are able to run these facilities and do other things without charging money, because we use the little money we get for the right causes, for the right purpose. So, like we have constantly said, NRM gets 75% of that money. NUP gets only 12%. But see what we're able to do with the 12% vis-a-vis what they are doing with the 75%. And imagine if the people of Uganda entrust us with state resources, I think this country will be what? Good. Mr. President and members, I want to also recognize the facilitators. Dr. Spire has given a very, very philosophical message today. I hope we have all picked one or two things. But one of the things he talked about was talking about the people who teach at the school. And the people who teach at the School of Leadership are not paid also. They do voluntary work. Tetusasula bantu bano okusomesa okubawa amagezi ago gonna gemufuna kusomera eryo, so they need to be appreciated. Communication, where is Comrade Waiswa? So come here and people see you and they clap hands for you. So this man has been teaching communication. As you've been told, ladies and gentlemen, these people started. The team we are giving out certificates to today is level 1. Like we explained at the start, there are 3 levels. There's level 1, level 2, and level 3. So this is level 1. And under level 1, we teach political and constitutional history of Uganda. Ebyafaayo bya Uganda babisoma era bano bakuguse mu byafaayo bya Uganda. Netusomesa the philosophy of the national unity platform. Philosophy nga tubasomesa values ekibiina kyaffe, structure ekibiina n'ebirala. Bano netubasomesa the art of public communication. Era Comrade Waiswa, era abazze wano ne boogera mulabye nti bakuguse nnyo musomere erya art of public communication. We are very, very proud of those people who spoke on behalf of the teams. Baina essomo lye bayita pathways to political change. Eryo zibu nnyo sigenda linyonyola ne mu Luganda. Then ne basoma leadership with action. Not just being a leader, but how do you impact lives and society. Then ne basoma governance and civil liberties. Bano abantu, Mr. President and our keynote speaker, bakuguse mu nsonga y'okumanya eddembe lyabwe. Era bano tosobola kubanyigira mu ttooke kubanga bamanyi eddembe lyabwe olitandikira ne welikoma. So badde nkya recognizing ababasomeseza ne bagamba nti public communication abadde abasomesa omuyi gwe bayita Alex Waiswa Mufumbiro n'ogatako Innocent Tebusulwa. kitegeeza byabasomeseza mu bikutte nnyo. NUP philosophy abadde agibasomesa mulimu Sebufu John Mary, Comrade Sebufu John Mary may not be around. Omulala Yekeya Jeremiah. Omulala gwe bakazako erya Doosi, mulaba wali Alex Rovans Lwanyaga. Sebo keynote speaker owulidde nti serious nno bw'okyaleeti toyingira. Ate oluusi era oyo omusajja ali ludda wa Razak gwe bawadde award abadde ng'ayitamu ng'alaba ani ayogerera ku ssimu. So mumulaba ono oyo amonitoringa classes ezo. Leadership with action, tubadde tulina Dr. Kanabi Moses, organizing secretary waffe, ne tubeera n'omukulu Sserunjogi Charles Musoke, ne tubeera ne Madam Sara Muwonge. Ate gwe people power. Kakati ku nsonga y'eddembe ly'obuntu babadde basomesebwa Sekanjako Abubakar, ye munnamateeka. Keya Jeremiah naye abadde abasomesa, ne tubeera n'omukulu Katumba Faizo. Katoyo Katumba Faizo yasooka n'abeera omuyizi ku somero eryo, naye because he was one of the best students he was retained. Era eyo poliisi yaffe nti abayizi abakola obulungi ne basukuluma ku banaabwe tuba retaininga ate ne bayigiriza abalala. Kubanga enjogera ya Geto egamba bw'obuuka n'otabuusa oba tolina nsonga lwaki wakola ki? Bw'obuuka n'otakola ki? Oba tolina nsonga lwaki? Baddeyo mu Zigeto mu Kampala Central n'esanga omwana n'akanjigirizaako. Kakati essomo eriri ttaafu ly'embaganda eya Pathways to Change babadde basomesebwa Katana Benjamin ali awo omukulu. Owokubiri nga ye mwami Kenneth Paul Kakande abataddemu ekikuli kyonna. Era ne John Mary Sebufu oluusi nga abasomesa ku nsonga eyo. Kaakati ebyafaayo no bwebiwulira oba olowooza nti abasomesa mukadde nnyo ebyafaayo naye abadde abasomesa asooka bamuyita David Lucy Lubongoya. Abasomesa byafaayo omulala ye Kibuuka Moses muyaawo Mosh, omulala nga ye Dr. Kanabi, omulala nga ye Mukalas Deus. Simanyi oba ali wano. So those are the facilitators at the School of Leadership. So ladies and gentlemen, and I also want to appreciate the guest speakers. As you know, our classes are on Tuesday and Thursday. But on Wednesday we have a guest speaker, a guest lecture, and Dr. Spire came in, and many other leaders, including the LOP, have been going there. Even the president himself has been coming every once in a while to speak to this. These are the people who have done all the time, but we also have sessions of a few people who come and lecture and go. So we had groups coming in from Gomba, from different places, Wakiso and others, to come in and just get trainings for 1 day, for 2 days, and all that. So ladies and gentlemen, we move on to the reason why we are here. I'm going to invite you, Mr. President, our guest speaker and deputy presidents, to come and we begin the certificate awarding ceremony. So we are moving on to award these wonderful people. Abazadde mwebali kuluno temwaweerera baana naye mwabazaamu amaanyi era namwe tubebaza. No, I think you need to come this way like this. Yeah. You give this.
Sembla. I got it. Jonah was pleased. Jonah.
All right. So we are going to begin with Class A. Class A is of the foot soldiers. The School of Leadership, we have three classes, three categories. The first one is Class A, foot soldiers. The second one is professionals, Class B. And number 3 is elected leaders. And but now this time around we have some people from the diaspora who are also awarded. Okay, the very first one is Babirye Amina.
Dogo City. Dogo City.
Webale nsiba yo nsofi sijikolanga kona. Ne wansa tesi. Tugende.
Yeah, so once you get your certificate and the president gives you the pin, no, the parents will come later for the pictures because we need to do it very, very quickly. Bale Hassan, Omukulu Bale Hassan. Then to Buyondo Farida. There's an interesting group of two people who were studying and disturbing each other. Toina Byaruhanga George. Obugaruba Byaruhanga George. Byekwa Sosam. Ono ye. Oyo muzoga nyoyo. Dumba Habad. Jai Muzamiru. Is Muzamiru here? Oh yes. Guy Muzamiru. Asad Sonko. Oyo Sonko gwemulaba ya painting offices in the National Unity Platform. So you can see ono musajja muzimbi era akola mu bya painting. Bwe yawulira nti waliwo okusoma naye nabyenyigiramu wekyotera. Isabirye Salim, Isabale Ali, Kabale Ali, Kabito Alex ngasuulira vibe y'amaanyi awo olina okubateekamu vibe. Kajubi Muhammad Sendawula. Tulina Kakande Ali Banks. Kamia James. Katabas James. Katerega Hassan. Kato Edison M. Kato Kawesa Misaili. Kazibwe Gerald. Chibirango Andrew. Chibirango Andrew, are you around? Chibirige Ezra. Chibirige Ezra. Chigozi Salim. Esawa yonna. Chisache David Makumbi. Chivumbi Emmanuel Joel. Chankanga Simon. Rebecca Med. Abazadde nga temukuba mu ngalo bannange. Lumisa Ivan. Lutaya Jacob. Musajja ono ayambadde ba political prisoners. Luiga Moses. Muyanja Sharif. Mbabazi Anet. Musisi Difference over Defiance. Musisi Aliwa. Yegwe Defiance over Difference, yeah. Musoke Paul. Nabosa Juliet. Nabukenya Betty. Nadamba Shailen. Namazi Agnes. Namata Brenda. Namuleme Regina. Mama ngole sate ebyaka bibyenda baawo. People power. Our power. NUP. Everywhere. Namte Bisara. Namuyanja Farida. Namuyiga Esther. Banango oyo bajja kuire President salute engeri gyayambadde. N'obukambwe bonna bwalina ngenda bakuwe certificate y'obumala. Nancha Fiona
Dino Press.
Nacha Fiona. No, Aisha.
Kakubiro kabuze kaliwa, kozi kali wange waka.
Ono omukyala gwemba gavumenti ayambadde bulungi ayina ekigambo kino Dr. Kyabadde ayogera kill one nene join otaawo omu abalala ne beegatta ku struggle. Nantaba Rita Nanyunja Farida Ndawula Rajab Nsubuga Gaida Jida Nsubuga Dennis Nsubuga Ronald then we have Sewanyana Sharif Sebange Vincent Sebowa Abdul ono kamusembeyo kakojako basembyayo bana babiri Segawa Sulaiman Segirinya Rashid Seguya Zaidi omuzoga nyono naye yasomye Semanda Brian la Semanda yali abuuza ebibuuzo by'amagezi nnyo. Sempita Fabian Senchima Francis Senyonjo Alex Seruga Moses Omuzoganyi Shemerirwe Lilian Wakayinja James Waswa John Bosco People power, our power, NUP, everywhere. Kakati kawakiri alinge wano waliwo benjagala okusembyayo ate okubasembyayo kakodyo. Omwami yakonvisinga omukyala ne basalawo bonna basome era bwe nagendanga okubasomesa nga mbaawula kubanga babeera mu kiraasi nga beekuba obwama bagamba mmwe buli omu atuule yekka naye nga baakabi nnyo. Segawa Shafik ne Segawa Jamila era obalaba batudde bombi awo ate ekyo kikirizibwa ku lunaku lwa award ceremony. Komanda Shafik n'ekyembeeyi kye basoma ne bamaliriza bulungi nnyo. Tusaba n'abafunye certificates mu class ya foot soldiers mujje mulimirire wano mufune ekifaananyi ekyawamu ne certificates zammwe very quickly. Kale mulimirire bulungi nga mutunula eri president agenda bajoininga ne keynote speaker waffe ow'olunaku olwaleero. People power. Leero Oktoba. Ya envumbo y'abakusoja aba National Unity Platform. Bagamba leero bali mu kutoba naye enkya inshallah bajja kubalira okuvimba nga bazimba Uganda empya. Mr. President, keynote speaker, please come and have a photo moment with this wonderful group of people. Okay, Mr. President, they are waiting for you to come and have a picture with them. People power, our power, NUP, everywhere, even here. Mr. President, in the middle of that, along. These are the wonderful people from the class of foot soldiers. Our power, NUP, everywhere. Chakabinyo, katukende klasi kala. People power. Okay. Katugenda class ya professionals. Professionals class is the next. The first one here, Agele Ismail Aliga. Kunga professionals, kunga. Kunga professionals, kunga. Aisha Nalweiso. Omugalo wa Aisha Nalweiso. Bafoot soldier lwaki temutuula bannange, after that mujja kufuna ebifaananyi. Aloyo Daisy Grace. Aloyo Daisy Grace. Katono naye yasoma n'apuguka. Wengine oyita. People power. Era ali awo oyinza okulooza si muzoganyi. Atusingwize Jona. Oyo akulembera media team yaffe. Era omulaba bwali smart nnyo olunaku olwaleero. Atusingwize Jona. Wewale nnyo ssebo kubisoma n'obeerayo. Babirye Lydia. Tulina Bale David. Bale David. Tulina Belinda Grace. Belinda Grace. For the media, you need to know that today we have 104 awardees. The last time we had 104, now we have 184. Tulitwalina abantu 14, olunaku olwaleero tulina abantu 184. Bukenya Angelo. Bwambale Francisco. Bwambale Francisco. Kabushenji Laban. Laban. Kabushenji Laban. Kagulu Samuel Kategaya. Kagulu Samuel Kategaya. Kaija Irene. Kakande Leviticus. Kakande Leviticus. Naine linnya ly'ekitabo kiramba mu Bayibuli. Kasirye Derek Peter. Kasirye Derek Peter. Kasirye Ronald Samuel. Bwe baba bakuwadde vibe ate n'odaba vibe obeera mukyamu. Kasule Jovius Peter. Kasule Jovius Peter. Kayongo Gerald. Kayongo Gerald. Kayongo Gerald. Chigundu Peterson. Chigundu Peterson. Keya Joseph Dewo. Keya Joseph Dewo. Kobusinje Sanyu. Kobusinje Sanyu. Kalumba Irisa. Lubwama Stewart. Lubwama Stewart. Lutwama Peter. Lutwama Peter. Masete Paul. Masete Paul. Omukulu akyene katoto. Mayanja Fred. Mayanja Fred. Mbabazi Lydia. Mugabe Ronald. Mugoma Didas. Mugoma Didas. Mugoma Didas. Muhindo Charles. Muhindo Charles. Oyo mukulu abadde abakasese n'asoma n'addayo. We have Mukambwe Alex. Mukambwe Alex. Okay, let's wait for the line to clear a bit. Mukasa Isaac. Mukasa Isaac. Musibala Peter. Nabata Namuli Joyce. Nabata Namuli Joyce. Nabwami Teddy. Nabwami Teddy. Nakafelo Gloria Mugerwa. Nakafelo Gloria Mugerwa. Nakakwa Angel. Nakagawa Angel. Naluwaga Imelda. Lubagumya Charles. Obugalo bwa Lubagumya Charles oyo yali candidate waffe mu Kawempe North mumujjukira yali agala bwa NUP era process bwe yaggwa y'omu ku abo abaasigala nga batambula n'ekibiina bulungi nnyo. Simanyi oba wali oweesimbyewo saagala kukubira campaign. Saagala omubulire bye weesimbyeko naye era walaga empisa ennungi eri ekibiina. DJ, as we try to clear the line, kayimba katambula mpola mpola sebo DJ. Tomusange William Bifachi Bishop oyo naye olunaku olwaleero abimaze. Sansa Charles Lwanga Serwaji Elijah ne Senyondo Esamo Semugalu Edward Semugalula Edward Sematimba Vivian Sekono Joseph Sekamanya Christopher Sengendo Yusuf Semunya S. Sulaiman Oyo Dax Cartel Jangono ne certificate yo Semunya S. Sulaiman Sanya Boniface People Power Our Power NUP kakati twagenda okusembeyo mu kategori eno aina ka special request kakoze kakuyite wano ngenda edakikemu yokka oyogere ekyoyagala okwogera lwasasira penlop yangu oje wano akoze special request oyo mukyala gwe mulaba naffe ne tugamba tetugenda kuba ababi katugimuwe dakikemu yokka.
A people power, our power, NUP, everywhere. Erinnya lyange niwasasira Penrop Amina Sebugenyi kuva mu Kampala Central, Senyi 3 Parish, gyenegwanyiza okukiikirira. Nsabye omuzindaalo guno okwebaza Mwami Sebugenyi Abubakar. Omwami oyo mwami wange yerekereza ebintu ebingi nabeere waka nakuuma abaana nga ndi mu struggle nandeka nensoma nenkomawo ewaka saawa 4 za kiro nankankuba emiggo njakadde mwebaze nasoma abantu era musabe angumikiririzemu akaseera kano paka nga tuyingidde Uganda empya.
nnyo ssebo webale nnyo okukkiriza mukyala akola emirimu gya struggle era genda ne pulezidenti akuweeyo ku bugalaawo ekwateko mu ngalo nenuwasasira penlo Walugembe Arnold uza bali kiriho Viatori all the way from Kisoro. Viatori ulakoze cyane. This is Viatori from Kisoro. People power. Our power. Mwebale nnyo kati abaklasi eyo katufune ekifaananyi ekyawamu era tugende ku kilasi eddako. Professionals do like the other class did and take a picture with the president and people power. President asazeewo ono omwami okumuwa pini eyo enyota gye mulaba wano olw'okuba nti naye waliwo walwanira awalala. Okay, Mr. President, our guest speaker and the Deputy President, please step forward and let's have a picture with these good people. Thank you very much for being very smart. Katei jangu wano sebo a president wajja sebo yogera ekigambo kimu kyokka ng'oyimiridde wano nga bwe tulinda president. People power, our power. Ninakozesa bisatu president manajjalwayo bannange abalungi abantu njagala kwebaza bayizi bannange betusomye nabo bonna mu classes zonna ne bannamawulire bonna. Kino guno obubaka njagala mbusindika eri ba artists mu ggwanga lino naddala abayimbi. Njagala kubagamba nti enkyukakyuka ebeera ejja bino byebintu byereeta. Olaba abantu abatasaanye nga basaanye. So njagala bakulira omulanga lumba musuubira nti nno gavumenti eyo esobola okukyusa embeera yammwe. Bannange mwerimba mulina kwegatta ku bannammwe bayimbi bannammwe ne musobola okukyusa embeera gye mulimu n'abantu bammwe. Ensonga lwaki waliwo essomero lino si kugezaako kubaako birabi tukulabula agezaako okubangula n'okufuna obukulembeze obujja. People power, our power. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, people power. Tuli mu kukuba ekifaananyi bannange. Mwimirire wano babalaba ab'ebifaananyi. All right, people power. Mwebale nnyo basebo ne banyabo. Tuli kumpi kumaliriza omukolo gwaffe. Laba omuntu bw'ajja nga werekeddeko munne ate n'amaliriza naye ng'afunye award ey'akabi. Kale, elected leaders oba abantu already abali mu bukulembeze. Asooka Bukirwa Aida mbasaba abamaliriza mutule so that people can see the other class. Isiko Jamil wena tete tela mulabe. Gyabwe Anthony Kabanda Nicholas Kaliba Sad Etwela ne Katikamu Ronald olaba wana these elected leaders bazene gali ezikuwa Chikozi Rose Nalubwama obawulira era mbala bambadde zi reflector jacket zonna. Chikozi Salim Chisauzi Alex Chomuhanji Margaret Luswata Peter Lutalo Davis Makula Vicky Buganzi Edrisa Migamba Susan Matovu Sharif omusajja musoga nnyo. Matovu Sharif Nabido Shamim Nagudi Asia Nachito Sama bale ndoza Sama yuji akulembera bamawulire naye asomye naye kati omukyala Sara Nagudis nyabo wasomero bimala ono musoganyi nnyo Nagudi Asia obugalo bwa Comrade Nagudi ebyo byakola mwena mubimanyi. Nalubwama Esther Nakato Gertrude Nalumu Harriet Nantaba Florence Sonko Sembatia Richard Sembuze Siraje People Power Sekamanje Savio Semuja Hakim Sesenga Hamza Tushabe Margaret Chom Uwineza Sadiq wengenda okusembera mu kategole no president amwogeddeko yali ghetto youth naye n'avaayo n'asalawo okwenyigira by'obukulembeze n'afuuka kansala bamuyita Twaha Chagason Abdul Amin yomulaba kansala ye Nakawa Thank you. Okay, elected leaders, please step forward for your photo moment. Step forward, elected leaders. These ones, I'm just going to read the list, but let's have the picture first. Let's have the picture first, and then this other category will not take a long time, for majority of them are not here. Okay, Mr. President, if you could join the team and the deputy presidents. Please step forward and let's have great. Let's have that photo moment. Abantu present is the diaspora. Please step forward, the representative from the diaspora very quickly. People power. Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you very much. A big hand clap for that group, for that class. Nakai Janat and Balwayo Joshua, please step forward very quickly. Nakai Janat and Joshua. Nakanwaji Aisha. These ones. People power. The final category we have abasemberayo ddala bebantu baffe abafuna online classes. We are making sure, I was even trying to audit okulaba nga bafunye obudde obwekana n'abalala ababadde basomera wano. List yabwe ngenda gisoma naye balina abakiikiridde wano kamweda kiddemu akyogere.
Thank you very much. People power, our power, NUP and everywhere. Thank you very much. My name is Omukulu Muhammad Matorvu, and I'm on the National Executive Committee NEC on UAE Stroke Gulf. Mumbere yosaba mbategeeze nti ndi wano representing the Gulf stroke UAE. Era nga mu budde buno mwani acting ambassador of UAE stroke Gulf. Abakulu abo n'abakyala ababeera eyo abamu be tuyita bakadama ne basekadama bantumye okutegeeza coordinator waffe owa institute nti nno obuzibu obwagwawo bwe batwala ebintu byaffe ebimu ebitusomesa nga bwe muli projector, we will be able to deliver a projector to our institute. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Comrade Sasi Marvin, where are you? Sasi Marvin, I want to hand over, the president will hand over these certificates to you and this comrade, because this is the diaspora class. Naye aba diaspora kambasome nga bwe mbakubira mu ngalo bannange. Asooka ye Allen Tibasania awangalira Saudi Arabia. Okubiri Asime Richard UAE. Atwile Jessica Saudi Arabia. Baguma Joseph Qatar. Churchman Mwanguzi Qatar. Sise Nalugwa Qatar. Eddie Sulubi Qatar. Gerald Magala Qatar. Innocent